miracle of human perspective.
Now the ultimate power in the universe.
Sharing the love, spreading the light in real time. Friday night love stream.
Very happy to have a guy we instantly resonated with. Unbiased and on the fence. I'm talking about Shane C. Robinson. And his purpose is to rise above the worldviews that are designed to separate us so we can unite as one.
Sometimes you have to sort of take a step back, and I think Unbiased and on the Fence is a really, really good title for your show, because you are in the central point when you're unbiased and on the fence. That's what it means. It doesn't mean you're indecisive. It means you are taking the central point and you're seeing the multiple perspectives.
Unbiased and on the fence.
If you haven't checked Unbiased on the Fence, go and check his channel out. You might like it.
This is Dan Hofel from Talk is Cheap, and you're listening to Unbiased and on the Fence with Shane Robinson.
If this much sincerity enters your life, come to this much. What I know, I know. What I do not know, I do not know. I don't believe anything, I don't disbelieve anything. I'm willing to look at everything. You will become a sensible human being.
Have you checked out our website?
Visit us on the web at uotf.net. You're listening to The Love Stream.
All around the world in real time.
This is Shane with Unbiased and On the Fence. You're listening to the Friday Night Love Stream.
Your calls, your stories, on air. You're listening to the Love Stream.
Sharing the love and spreading the light all around the world. This is Unbiased and On the Fence.
Unbiased and on the fence.
Yay, it's Friday. What is up, everybody? Friday Night Love Stream. Phone lines are open. I do have a few announcements to make, in case you guys have not heard. The 2019 West Coast Conference is coming up. Let me see if I can prepare this for the return. Okay, let me do it this way. Let me go here. There we go. Now this website is listed below, MandelaEffectConference.com. And this, as you see here, we are proud to announce the 2019 West Coast Conference. It will be November 8th through the 10th at the Best Western Tyrolean Lodge in Ketchum, Idaho. Sorry if I butchered that name. There's a special rate system for those attending the conference. When you call to book, merely mention, "I'm with Jerry." And of course, that's Dark Wolf to access the special rates. Okay, and of course, Cynthia Sue Larson will be there from RealityShifters.com. We love Cynthia Sue Larson here. She's been on the show a few times. And I am proud to say I will be speaking alongside her Sunday. And then that actually, okay, so that's that announcement. Now Monday, let's see if I can come back here. On Monday, Sunday and Monday, if you're in the St. Louis area, a number of people are getting together in that area, in the St. Louis area. Let me pull up that information for you. Of course, Frank will be there, Jody, Kate, let's see, Dustin the Wind from the chat, and Ashley, his wife. I'm going to try to get there. I speak Sunday night, so I don't even know if it's possible. I was like, wait a minute. When I get done speaking, I don't know if I can leave and drive there and drive straight through and be there. I think it's just too far. So I will see. I'm going to try to make it there on my way home, though, back to Tulsa from speaking on the 10th in Idaho. But Monday, 11/11. Of course, we had it here in Tulsa last year. It's going to be in St. Louis this year. 11/11 event at Jody Marvin. You guys will know her as Reiki Medium 333 in the chat, where she works. It's an adorable crystal gift shop that is closed on Monday. So it'll be a closed group meetup here at this place of business. And we'll do a meditation, and people can share gifts, Reiki, tuning forks, reconnection therapy, tarot, etc. Of course, like I said, Frank's going to be there. He does the reconnective healing, like Case from Everyday Masters. And anyone who wants to come Sunday to that same place of business, there will be an open house, barbecue pit, fire pit, song circle, etc. Or actually, that's at, I'm butchering this, at Kate's house on Sunday. Dustin, the Win, and Ashley, his wife, have offered to coordinate an outing for anyone around early on Sunday. It's going to be kid-friendly. There's RV parks and budget hotels close to both events. So you guys, you know what you do is probably the easiest thing is just to email me if you're in the St. Louis area, or you can drive to that area. Just email me, put St. Louis in the subject line, because, you know, it's going to be semi-private. We're not just going to publish where and when and on, you know. So just send me an email and I'll connect you with Kate, and then you can get the information that way. So please do go to the website, uotf.net, and click on the contact page. That's probably the easiest way if you don't already know my email, which is shanecrob@gmail.com, which is also listed on the website under the contact page. All right, so I got that order of business out of the way. Let's see, phone lines are wide open, you guys. If you wanted to call in, please do so. We'll set the mood with a little Wingmakers. got Terry on the line. How's it going, Terry?
Yeah, well, you know what? It's, I guess I felt like I haven't talked to anybody all week. I haven't done anything. I haven't listened to anybody. I haven't contributed. I've been in mourning, and I just hadn't told anybody, so I figured the best way was just to, let everybody know what was going on with me. Is that my friend killed himself on Monday, and I've been having a hard week.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, it's just been really tough.
Oh, let's let the chat send lots of love to you.
Like I got back from Washington. When I got back from, he had my whole yard just totally manicured, weed eated. He had pulled, ground stumps out. I mean, this was my one friend that I had here. That was always,
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah.
And then all this stuff's coming up about I have suspicions and it's just nothing is. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. What do you have suspicions about, Terry?
Well, the guy that told me about him, I'd only met him once before, and I knew that John had hung out with him, but I thought that they had a falling out, and as far as I know, they weren't together again, but all of a sudden, he's inserting himself into his life, like his estate life. I mean, he was like the type of person that did odd jobs and stuff, but he could never get the job that he really deserved. He had kind of a, he was like the best man I ever knew, really. I mean, he devoted himself to taking care of his mother and his stepfather for years, and I mean, who does that, right? I mean, he was always standing up for people and doing the right thing, and it cost him a lot in life, but finally he got evicted from his house for back taxes. And I mean, he lived without even getting electricity in his house, and water. He learned how to collect off of rain barrels and heat with, kerosene heaters. And I mean, he was just, he was an amazing, amazing person. And but all of a sudden, this weird guy shows up one morning, and I've never seen. I didn't even know he knew where I lived. It's only about 5 minutes from here, but he's like, and then he's just asking me about John, and I'm like, yeah, I've seen John a couple days ago. I mean, he gave me a bunch of stuff to sell for him, which was kind of weird, but I knew he had told me he had bought this other house and he was moving back to Youngstown, which is, we used to call him Youngstown John. That's what he was always about. He wanted to move back there, and I was happy for him. And he'd found this really bargain house, and he'd reconnected with these old friends, but then I guess it was all a big story just to cover, and he was just making it all up, baby. But this guy, he doesn't know me from Adam, and all of a sudden he's comes over, and then he calls me 2 hours later when I'm out shopping, and he goes, and he's almost hitting on me. He's at my door, and he's talking to me about John. I'm like, I said, yeah, well, he's got that place in Youngstown he's moving to, right? And he's like, yeah, I was helping him hustle, moving stuff out of the garage into the house yesterday, and he'd gone to court, and he was relieved that he had this extra moment because he had told me he sold the house, and they said, no, you don't need to be out of the garage, just get your stuff out of the house. So he was happy they had that extra time, and so things were apparently working out. At least I thought they were. But all of a sudden, this guy is telling me and asking me questions about John, and I'm like, well, and I didn't even think about it, but I'm just and then he starts asking me well, what kind of food do you like, Terry? And I'm like, well, all kinds of food. Why? And he's like, and all of a sudden he goes on about how he likes to cook, Tex-Mex and this and that, and he used to work at Disney in Florida and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting here like, okay, fine, I don't care, I don't know you, I want to just go shopping, I'll see you later, okay? You know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he leaves, and then he calls me 2 hours later and tells me John's dead. And now all of a sudden he's in touch with his sisters, whom John hasn't been in touch with his sisters forever. And he was there the moment, and I finally called him back and said, wait, what went down? How did this happen? What, you know? And it seems like the whole story he's making up is just like a story, like he's filling in the blanks.
So like he was dead
Why
at the time when he
doing
was
that?
talking to you the first time, you're thinking?
I think it was almost like he knew John was already dead. So, but he said, but then he's telling me that he didn't know then. But he was like fishing for information from me because there was no really reason for him to be there. And then all of a sudden he disappears, and then 2 hours later he's coming. John's dead. I'm like, what? You know, and then I was just fucking, I was just destroyed for a couple of days. But when I was telling my neighbor, who was also a friend, she's like, wait, this isn't adding up. Who is this guy? What's going on? You know. And
well, have you spoke to the authorities though, Terry? Or
well,
have they
I think
spoke to you?
I'm no, and I've had a friend who works for. I mean, she has my best girlfriend. She dates a guy it's a cop, and he did some and I called her, and he did some investigating and said, well, you know, the logistics, but he just said it was under investigation and stuff. But all of a sudden, and then the weird thing is, so this guy that calls me later, the next day, and he's going, oh, but Terry, no, so you were selling some things for John, right? And so his sister Joyce wants to collect the rest of the money that you owe him to help to pay for the cremation. And I was like, what? Because as far as John went on when his mom and dad died. I mean, she was just this is a woman who has a well-paying government job. Her husband works. They have plenty of money. They live out of state. And she's the most controlling, evil, greedy person ever on the face of the earth, denied John the simplest items that he wanted that were sentimental to him from his parents. It was just ridiculous, So I'm like, all of a sudden he's working with the bitch from hell, sister. I'm like, wait, this is getting,
Yeah.
So I know he did, make some stuff up from time to time. He was known to do that. But he'd only do that, like, for reasons that were just, like, pride and silly stuff, when somebody's making stuff up to, like, try and impress you or whatever, or just to be a jerk. But, I think he was covering, but I don't know. I mean, and then he did, he was, like, now it's, like, kind of obvious that he was always, everything that he did was just kind of, saying goodbye, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You look back and you go, I mean, not to say that, but I still don't know that guy didn't have something to do with it. And now I'm like, I don't know.
So when you think back, it does seem like he was, like, subtly giving you signs, like maybe the stuff he gave you to sell, he really wanted you to keep it, or...
Yeah.
But he didn't want you to know that
like,
he was leaving it with you.
I don't want them to get this. You'll appreciate these. And I'm like, wow, these are cool. He had this collection of match safes. This is my kind of thing that I, would sell on eBay. Like, I sell small antiques and, this kind of thing. So, and some of them were silver and, whatever. So I worked them all out, and I paid him for the first round. And I did owe him a little bit more, and then I'm beating myself up. I didn't go over that one night, And then I asked this guy, he has these two sisters, the one bitch from hell and the one that he liked, Gwenny. And for years I've been like, have you gotten a hold of Gwenny yet? You should get a hold of Gwenny. come on, you like Gwenny, you know, Gwenny loves you, you know, don't be, because you would always be so isolated, you know, and he, as far as I know, he never did. Well, so he said that, John had been to her house that last night and finally gave her a hug, and the first time he'd hugged her in 11 years. Then he also said that John had drank before he shot himself, and I don't think he would have. Because that guy hadn't drank for 20 years, and I think even if he was planning on killing himself, he would have done it sober. You know?
I don't know. It takes a lot to do that, you know.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry you're having to deal with that. You know, he's in a better place. It's really you that, you know, you got to get better. You're sort of left to deal with this.
And who's going to mow my lawn? And who's going to have a bonfire with me every damn night?
Right.
Nobody. Oh, God. I know. I've been feeling so sorry for myself all week. I have just been a frickin' mess.
You deserve to, though, you know.
Yeah.
You deserve to mourn the loss of your friend.
Yeah. But I just figured I'd come out with it. I feel like, this would be a good way to come out. You know, he wasn't on Facebook. He wasn't on a computer. He didn't do any of that stuff. He didn't even have a cell phone. You know, he would, I would say, he'd die and go to hell before he would. He always made sure his car insurance was paid. That was the one thing. He wouldn't pay anything else. And I'd be like, fuck car insurance.
The stickler for that car insurance, huh?
Oh, he just would. He would have to pay that car insurance. I mean, he was so paranoid about the car insurance, and he had his run-ins with cops and things. I mean, he used to be like a kind of a mean, bad drunk, but he quit drinking years ago, and he was just like this, you know, big sweetie with, you know, he's the best guy with lawnmowers that ever was, and you know, and we used to go to concerts and live music together all the time, and he'd drive me to Youngstown all the time, and we'd go yard sailing. He always loved my yard. He's loved my yard for like years. He's been my go-to fix-it guy for my lawnmower, and he would just come over and mow just for fun. Yeah. And I'm sure he loved me. I mean, I never did. We were never lovers or anything. I think it was just weird over years. We were just like, at one time I wanted to be, and then at one time and then I think he wanted to be, and it's just been never at the same time. And then it's like, oh no, we're just too good of friends. You can't do that, right? You know.
Right. Not worth messing it up, I guess.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out, it's hard to go back from something like that. If it doesn't work out, you know.
Right. In a way, we were just kind of too close to take it that close. You know. We're more like, I don't know, brother and sister in a way, but yeah. Well, that was his excuse when I was first kind of hot for him years ago. It was like, oh, you just remind me too much of my sister. And that was the bitch sister from hell, Joyce. Now that I know her, like, oh no.
Oh goodness. But you know, even though he's not here in the physical, you've got all those memories and all that. I mean, that's all very real, and it keeps you guys connected, even, you know, in the afterlife. So you really do have that connection there, although he's no longer with you in the physical. And you know that. I mean, you'll still miss him, but, you know, it's not a permanent thing, you know. But it does suck, I know that.
This whole thing is such a crazy illusion. I'm starting to really get that now, I think. Like, I was listening to this video today. It was about that, she's talking about double souls or double souls. And she just she's a medium kind of gal, and I forgot. Cosmic Empress. She was going on about how, like, she just figured out that she was one. It was like, and it sort of resonated with me. And there's something about, like, when you look into somebody's eyes, and there were moments when, and you know, when I looked into John's eyes, there were some moments where it was like, you know, it was really deep. You know what I mean? It was, you know, like for a brief second, but it was like, oh yeah, you know, like when we first met, I was pretty sure we were like, you know, yeah, I mean, I really was hot for him. I tried to kiss him on a full moon night one night. I just didn't go for it. I think he said, oh, hell no. That scared me away for years.
That's wild. So decades together, really, huh? You grew up together?
No, he was just introduced to me by friends of friends, and it was after my husband had passed, and it's probably been since 2013. But he's been like a really regular. I mean, we've had like I've spent more time with him than I have with anybody else over the years. You know, I mean, literally, he would be here for like literally hours and hours on end, daily, just practically at times. And then he would disappear for a couple months, and I wouldn't see him at all. And I'd wonder what was up. And if he had a phone, he would call once in a while, or he would just show up one day, like, hey, he'd go find the lawnmower and mow the lawn, and come in and sit down, and I'd feed him, and, you know. I don't know. But I'm sure going to miss him.
Yeah, left a hole there for you. You know, so maybe you can do something to honor him in, I don't know, some kind of special place or something, you know.
Yeah, I did. He used to talk about a friend of his that he'd go on and on and on about this friend, Fark, and I'd be like, oh, Fark was his musical friend, and I mean, I just never actually got to meet Fark, and but I finally did get to talk to him on the phone, and he's going to have a memorial party, like, you know, the friends that have known him for years and years, and myself, and a couple of other people from here will, because he hadn't lived here, he didn't grow up here, and I didn't grow up here, but so we're going to go back, and he's going to take us all together with, you know, the group, and we don't have to be around the crazy sister at the funeral and that, because I don't know if I want to do that, because it would be like a Catholic thing.
It is hard to deal with all of that on top of the grief and stuff. Sometimes you just got these family clashes, and it's. I
don't think you could. You probably wouldn't. I don't trust myself around that woman, Joyce. Yeah. I'd probably punch her face. I'm serious. I'd tell her off, or I'd do something that I probably shouldn't do, and I probably shouldn't go. I mean, I kept saying, well, I'm going to talk at John's funeral, and I probably will. I mean, I was so afraid of public speaking, and then when Chris died, I didn't talk much at his funeral, a little bit, but then when Marcus killed himself a couple months later, I was like, dang it, I got up there, and I talked, and I talked, and I talked. It was like, I just needed to, you know?
Yeah.
And it got me over that fear of public speaking. But, yeah. I've been trying to put together a eulogy, and, I do want to talk.
Yeah.
I do. I'm just going to have to take a Valium before I go. Keep me calm down. Because I don't know. I don't like that sister of his. Oh.
Well, I'm sure you can, just in his honor, I'm sure you can let it slide until
I can
you
call
get
my
up front, maybe.
Yeah. He'd probably love it, though. That's the thing, you know. Like, he would. He would have had a cow if I would have given her that last $100 I owed him or something, you know. You know, he would have had a cow, you know. I mean, she's just this rich bitch, and she just, like, fights for the last dime out of, you know, you know.
You know, you got your own property there. What do you think of maybe planting a tree in his honor or something, just, you know, in his memory?
Oh, that's a great idea.
You know, have it right there on your property, reminding you of him, since he can't be there. And somebody have to weed eat around it, right? In honor of him. You create a little weed eating work in his honor. I like that. It's like pouring out a little liquor or whatever they do. You know? Yeah. I think that's a good idea. And I will plant the tree in his honor. I'm so glad you reached out, though, because it can be horrible. You sit there and kind of get, you know, you drown in your thoughts and sorrows, and it really, I hope it feels better that you were able to get some of that out and receive some of this love everyone's sending to you. Everyone's heart's pouring out to you right now, so I hope you feel that.
Oh, I'm going to have to rewind this and didn't feel my soul because, I really did need it bad. I just have been hiding away all week and just kind of processing and crying my eyes out. And,
Did you guys ever enjoy any happy music together? Sometimes putting on, you know, if you guys shared some happy tunes together, put that on and just think of the happy times and just really, I don't know, try to celebrate his life in the times you guys had together, because it's really up to us how we focus on stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if you had some type of contact or something, if you could, you know, I don't know, sometimes we're just so stuck in our sorrows and stuff, you know, at first that, you know, they could be screaming at us and we don't even know it, you know, but.
No. I was out mowing today because I just thought, I mean, like, I have this Cub Cadet tractor, right? And it was like it was my husband's favorite thing, right? He used to brag that it's the most expensive thing we own. I mean, our car was this old beat-up Toyota, right? But we had a nice lawn tractor. Paid payments on it and everything. But John took over. He loved that Cub Cadet, too, and he loved mowing the lawn. And then I love mowing the lawn, too, though, right? It's like meditation for me. And a couple months ago, though, I really regret this. I was really irritated with John because he would just show up and just go and mow the lawn any dang time he felt like it. And it was really pissing me off. And I decided to take the key out of the lawnmower shed, so he'd have to like come to the door, but he wouldn't. And then he stayed away, and so I got to mow my own lawn. Dang it! You can do the weed eating. I don't have a weed whacker. And I'm like, why did you do that, you bitch, Harry? My God. It's the one thing he loved, and you were taking that away from him. You killed him, you know? It's like, God.
Was it a John Deere or a Toro or?
A Cub Cadet.
Cub Cadet, huh? Prized possession.
But I was out mowing today, and and I didn't like the way he did the front because he'd put like, you know, the trimmings would end up on the driveway, and then they'd get mashed in, and weeds would grow, you know. I'd be like, you could have gone out there with the blower and taken care of it. You didn't have to bitch at him about it, but I bitched at him about it. And I'm like, why did you bitch at him about it, you know? Yeah. So, I don't know. Okay, my advice is tell all your friends you love them and don't pick at the little shit, okay?
Yeah, pick our battles. It's amazing how that little shit eats at you when, pardon my language, it slipped out. The little stuff eats at you, though, when you sit there. But, you know, I when my mom died, I had all those little things. And one day after I had my first child, I realized that, you know, my mom would feel horrible if she knew I was sitting there and dwelling on these little things and feeling bad about it, because I knew she loved me so much, and I knew, I would feel really bad if my kid felt that way after I died, like about the little things, and that helped me release it. Once I could imagine my own child, that helped me release the things that I was, and they were so minor and little. It's funny that once you let it go, you realize, wow, why was I letting all those little things bother me, But he wouldn't want you to feel bad about it,
Oh, I'm sure of that. Yeah.
But good advice, though. Yeah, tell people you love them and don't nitpick, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can put up with their silly idiosyncrasies and realize that your irritation is probably just, you're being triggered. We're all being triggered really hard right now. I know that. The energies are coming in thick and heavy these days, and everybody's having to deal with a lot,
Yeah, and it does get heavy, but I tell people, hang on if it gets heavy, because, they are waves, so you'll feel it come and go, and just hope the next one's a high wave,
Yeah.
Some of them are really heavy. And if you're already feeling low, then it can bring you down that much more, so. But it helps to be aware of that, too, that it's an outside, experience interfering with your internal,
Yeah, it helps to have this community to be able to talk to, too, because, it's... I kept trying to talk to John over the years. I mean, I'm always buried in YouTube videos, and he doesn't even... he used to have a TV all the time. And then when he lost his cable, it was like he had no TV anymore. Mm-hmm. And then he just had like rabbit ear TV, and he would go on about he liked his Star Trek and the certain shows that he could catch. He liked old movies and stuff like that. And, we would watch things like that. Good programming.
Mm-hmm.
the good. But I was always like, trying to talk to him about conspiracy theories, and I was always just going off on all kinds of tangents, and he usually just like eyes glazed over, and he didn't want to hear it much, but he put up with me, he put up with me. But he was the guy that got me to read. I didn't actually read it though. I bought it, the book 1984. I mean, he had that in high school. I mean, he ended up going to this really good high school in Youngstown where they actually taught people stuff. I mean, I didn't even have a decent teacher. I mean, not one, but...
You just reminded me, Youngstown. I'm like, why is Youngstown, Ohio? Why does it sound so familiar? And I think I had to send something there as a kid off of a cereal box or something.
Really? Youngstown, Ohio has a very interesting history as person, like, remember Jim Trafficant back in the day?
No.
A politician that was supposedly so mafioso and everything and all that. Now I realize he was actually a really good guy, a real light worker, a real, he was facing down all the evil and the corruption in Youngstown, Ohio, which was huge. It's like rat pack gang, 40s, money laundering, drug dealing, heavy mafiosa, Cleveland. This whole region is, the history of it is dark and deep and rich in a lot of, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in Ohio, let me tell you, and it ain't bright, it ain't good, but there's a lot of weird shit goes on in this state. I had no idea before I moved here, but Youngstown is also a redeveloping and it's like Detroit, Michigan, where it was once this major, they used to make everything, was made in Ohio, let's face it. All the antiques I've been dealing in for years, when what? I moved here. Everything's made in Ohio. Everything was made in Ohio. I mean, this was manufacturing capital of the world, you know, and now everybody's broke and there's no jobs, and they've shipped them all off to China, and so there's this whole community developing that's taken back their communities. It's like in my town here, it's like 40 minutes away. The corruption is really bad. With like, it's a little town, but the cops are, you know, not. It's all about money and taking it from you. And in that community, it's about, like, not that way. You know, they're taking back their community, and they're buying houses, and they're redeveloping, and they're starting organic gardens, and they are, you know, getting out of the matrix and, you know, sort of taking back their communities in a way that's not being done in other places yet. In places like Detroit and Youngstown, I think we're in the future, we're going to be looking toward those places. How did you do this? You know what I mean? In a lot of ways, they are, you know, they dealt with it earlier than I think the big cities. You know, I think what we're going to see in the near future going on. Oh.
Are you thinking about? I know you got your place there. Are you thinking about making it, I don't know, where you're off the grid more?
Yeah, my house is, I'm so wanting to, I'm almost got it paid off now, and I can sell it and do something else. And
oh, you're wanting to split,
I don't know what it's going to do. Yeah, I'm really wanting to leave bad, and I have for years, but I just not know where to go or what to do, or, you know what I mean? It's like I've been trying to be freed up to be able to go figure that out.
Yeah.
So I'm not, you know, married to this. No, I want out really bad, and maybe this is the last push, because now my last friend on the world is not here anymore.
So nothing holding you down there, right?
It's clear. Nothing, absolutely. I mean, I have this lovely little property, and it is, you know, my little oasis, but I don't want to be here anymore. And I don't know where I want to be, though. So
you could do like our friend Diane down in Austin that got the travel trailer. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I am the travel trailer queen. I mean, I've bought and sold 2 already, and I have designs on vintage Airstreams like galore all the time, and I'm
then you'd be a free spirit traveling around. That sounds like that would be fun.
Yeah, I'm kind of a gypsy at heart. I mean, I've been here 15 years, but before that, I was never in one place more than, you know, maybe a year or two. I've moved, you know, all the time. I love to travel. I'm not, I mean, as much as I'm a double cancer and need to be at home all the time, and this is my home away from home, and now I have a roommate, and so it's paid for, so I'm kind of freed up to go figure things out now. So, yeah. And I can do what I do wherever I am. So I might go be a traveling gypsy show dealer again or something. I don't know. I can sell jewelry, little stuff, you know, go set up at shows. But is that world going to even exist soon? I keep saying that every year, but this year I think, oh yeah, I do think no, you know, right?
Well, if you're like if that's what you're set up like, though, you could just head to the mountains if some crap breaks out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you're mobile. You're ready to go wherever you want. You know.
That's it. I just got to get mobile.
Yeah.
Just get my 23-foot vintage Airstream trailer all fixed up and ready to go. Okay, who wants to come and help me work on it?
That sounds fun.
I want to go all solar, off grid, like get it. Yeah.
You need to have like a week-long retreat at your place, and we'll make it like a Habitat for Humanity sort of thing where we rebuild it, get it all ready to go. Make a Netflix movie out of it, like that one, what was it, Expedition Happiness on Netflix? If you guys haven't seen that, gotta
I have
check it out.
not seen that. Maybe I should get Netflix again and check it out.
They convert this bus into a travel home, and they go across Canada and down the West Coast. And I think they were originally from the UK or something, but it was their whole thing to,
Really?
to stay as long as they could. And it was really neat, though. It made me want to travel. It seemed so fun.
Yeah. Well, my favorite Aunt Marge did that when her later years. She got traded everything in, got a motorhome, and hit the road. And she'd go to the travel sites, and then she'd volunteer and work there and get to stay for free, and just hang out for a while, and move on, go visit some kids or something, go somewhere warm in the winter. Yeah.
And they went across Canada in I guess it was the summertime, because it was so beautiful up there. I was like, wow, it's like days and days of beautiful, yeah. Yeah, definitely summer.
Yeah, that would be summer. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I hope Florida's still there after.
Oh, yeah.
But I kind of like the Southwest a lot, too, so I don't know. I'm like, Southwest is good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to live in Durango. That was my favorite place I ever lived, so that was the favorite.
There's always something about where you live. Like, I loved Atlanta because of the weather and just everything, but the traffic's just too horrible. It's like, I don't know. I even worked at home. I can't imagine having like a 9 to 5. You got to drive every day. I worked at home, and I couldn't stand the traffic there, so.
Oh, really? Yeah, I understand. I've never really spent any time in Atlanta at all, but driving around, there's just one big circle around the town, as I understand it.
Yeah, I lived outside the
But the weather's better
circle.
in the winter there.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was, I guess, I don't know, I was like painting outside at Christmas time there. I mean, the weather was so perfect all year round, it seemed like. Well, it's right next to Florida, so.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've been looking at properties in North Florida, too, on Zillow for forever. And I have this 2.25 acres here, and half of it's like just an acre that I mow. And it's a building lot. And I had a realtor tell me that I could sell that lot at one time. I'm like, why didn't I think about that years ago? So I may do that, and that if that's possible, that would be cool.
Yeah.
And then I just could, still have home base and be able to get the trailer of my dreams, or maybe just buy that little property in Florida for 20 or 30 grand or whatever it is. You know? I don't know.
Awesome.
But then the GCR might happen next week, and then I'm going to be a multi-gazillionaire, and and then we're going to start to go to work. So I don't know. I don't know. All I know is things are changing.
Well, then you could pass your trailer down to somebody else when you upgrade, right?
Oh, absolutely. Right? Yeah. I'll just get a better one. Right. I don't know.
So are you studying the Florida map and what it's going to look like, and you're like trying to get beachfront property? Is that what this is about there in Florida?
No, I'm trying to avoid the coastlines, but...
Yeah. Sorry, Eileen. She's like, what? Wait, I'm at the tip down there. We're just talking hypothetically, Eileen. No worries.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't buy a piece of property on the coastline at all. I wouldn't even think about living on the coastline right now. I wouldn't.
That's where everybody congregates, though. When you look at the heat maps.
I know, but I don't know. I like that North Florida inland, like around the Swanee River. There's this cave diving areas where you can go cave diving. And they got the Swanee River all through there, and it's just kind of lush and cool. And there's this like music fest place this old place where they have really good, like a big festival all the time in the winter, I guess. It looked really fun. And, yeah, you can buy like a prop, I could, couple acres and then it's, park your trailer there, find one with a little cabin, build a cabin, or I don't know. I don't know. But I just want a little cabin in the woods. I don't really want a big-ass house anymore. I want a little cabin in the woods.
I'm right with you
there. I just want some water nearby, and I'll be fine. It can be a river. That's cool. I can be close enough to drive to the ocean when I need to see the ocean.
I would love to be close to the ocean. An hour drive would be good. I wouldn't even mind a 2-hour drive.
I so miss living in California because I lived in Southern California for like 13 years, and I love the ocean. I just miss it so much.
Yeah.
Just to be able to go there whenever you want was such a treat. Certainly perfect weather. And but
See, not much for the snow. Have you gotten worn out on the snow there in Ohio?
Oh, God. Well, the thing is, it's much milder here, like where I came from in Minnesota. It's seriously cold in the winter, right? So it's a little bit milder. It's another, it's like a different zone and, planting and that. So, it never gets below like, not much below 0 most of the time. Rarely 10 below, most of the time it's 20 above at least in the winter. But the sun never shines here. They even built a Ravenna military-based installation years ago, like World War II area or whatever, because it was so stealthily located in this cloud-covered area. Of course, I think with weather modifications, probably, I don't know. But naturally, it was naturally cloud-covered, but lately, you know what? The sun has been out more than in years prior. Like, I must say, things are certainly changing.
You're saying less spraying going on there?
Less rain now and more sun. I mean, we've had some seriously nice days. I understand there's a heat wave in the south right now, and it's just been so beautiful here, like low 70s, and the humidity's down, and it's just awesome. It's just been just beautiful lately. No chemtrails. It's just been, oh, my goodness. Yeah. But generally speaking, it's been cloudy. It's a cloudy area. And in the winter, you can go like 6 weeks without any sunshine. And by that time, I'm just, this is unbelievable.
Like, where's my sun already?
Oh, yeah. And then the sun comes out, and I'm like, I'm just like, happy spirit again. It's like, oh, my God. But like in Minnesota, it might be cold as hell, but you don't care because the sun's out. You're in your car, but you got the heat on, but the sun is shining on you.
Yeah.
And I need the sun.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I've been feeling like I need the sun more and more all the time, too. It's really strange. Sometimes I just feel like I just need to get out in the sun for a little bit, and I'll just take a drive or something. But then again, I feel like that at night with the stars, too. I guess it's just feeling like I need to get out of the house, and just get out in nature, even if it's still within the city, just to get out and look at the sky, breathe the air,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes it just helps to just get out and drive, too. I don't know. It's meditation for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It really is. Good time
driving
of year,
is very much meditation. Yeah, in fact, I might come to that St. Louis deal. It's 8-hour drive from here.
Oh, you should. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely should.
I should probably do that. Okay. So, I'm in Alliance, Ohio. Peoples want to gather together on that idea. Anybody from this region, let's do it.
Yeah, maybe carpool or something, you mean?
We could carpool, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Yeah, you could go Sunday.
I might have a trailer by then.
You could go Sunday, leave Sunday morning, and then stay there one night too, and go to both events. You know, it wouldn't be. There's plenty of cheaper places to stay in St. Louis. I mean, it's a pretty big city.
Okay, well, there's 2 events there because I got in maybe like a few minutes late, but you were announcing. I heard. Okay,
Yeah.
you had 2 events going on there.
Well, it's really going to
November
be
11th?
November 11th on a Monday. There's a crystal shop that's closed on Monday, so it's going to be a private get-together there. But if anybody wants to show up Sunday, the 10th, there are also going to be some events there. You know, really probably the best way, like I was saying early on, is if anybody's within driving distance and you think you might want to go, just send me an email with St. Louis in the subject line, and I'll make sure you already have Kate's email, don't you? I mean, if not, I can still give it to you too, Terry. But I can just pass it along to Kate. That way she doesn't get spammed. You know what I mean? Mine's already out there. So, yeah, anybody just put St. Louis in the subject. I'll connect you guys up with Kate, and then that way you'll get the information about the date and time and all that. But it will be the 10th and the 11th. The 11th being the main thing. But, yeah, so let's see. Oh. Yeah, Not So Fancy Nancy says, I'm going to St. Louis also. That's right. I forgot you were going, Nancy.
Is she awesome?
Yeah.
Oh,
she's going for a reconnection with Frank, I believe. If I could be. I've got so many little stories, you know, going in my head. So if I mess something up ever, guys. I think Nancy's, I think I said that April shrunk down in her session. I really meant Nancy, so I think I even mixed up a little bit of their session. So I apologize, guys. It's hard to keep them all straight.
And I haven't listened to either one yet. I've been like, I haven't done anything with that all week, so I got some catching up to do.
I understand. I really do.
Yeah.
And you got to take care of yourself, you know. And don't hesitate to reach out to us if you need somebody to talk to. We are friends, you know.
Yeah, I know that, and it really helps, and I appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah. Yeah, it helps a lot.
Let's see, Rita's saying St. Louis isn't too far from her. It's about, I think it's less than, it used to be a little less than 6 hours. 6 hours if you want.
I just looked it up. It's 8 hours from here.
That's not too bad. That's still, you drive there in a day, you can hang out and drive back. I mean, that would be a long day, but if you made it a 2-day thing, that wouldn't be so bad. You leave in the morning and then.
I would make it 2 or 3 or 4 or something. I wouldn't,
All right.
I'd probably make it into a shopping event if I do it myself.
Yeah.
I'll just shop my way there. Stop at
There's
all
always
yard sales,
the
all
Arch or
stores,
something, the
all
casinos.
antique shops.
There's a lot of stuff there to do. I mean, plenty to do there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually my hometown. I grew up in St. Louis. I was born.
Oh,
in
you
fact,
did?
yeah, Kate and I were born in the same hospital. We found that out earlier. It's
Really?
like, oh my gosh, we were both born at the same hospital in St. Whoa, it's really neat. Like 2 years apart or something. It's like a small world, you know.
All right.
Who would have thought? Awesome.
I've never spent it. I think I've been there once. I think they had an Arabian horse show nationals there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I went to the White Castle.
Oh, I love White Castle.
It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and me and my boss went in there after a horse show, and it was like giant restaurant, and it was like all black people. There were like 60 of them in there, and we were the only white people in there. It was so weird. I mean, it was like years and years ago, you know.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget that. It was just a kind of a crazy memory. Anyway.
I've spent many late nights because you know most of the time you get done at a club or whatever when I was young anyway. That's the only place open. So most people that go there and they've never been there, they're like, oh, they're soggy, gross burgers, or if they've been to Crystals, they'll think they taste like Crystals and they're completely different. Because I thought Crystals would taste like White Castle when I went there in Atlanta, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is nothing like White Castle. They look like it, but they don't taste like it. But I like the frozen ones.
So why is it they taste different? Just because they're square?
No, well, the Crystal ones are square,
square
too. They
right?
look, they look just like the Crystals restaurant. You know, but they don't taste the same. You would think they taste the same, but they're not. And I know White Castle's has like cabbage in their burgers. I don't know if Crystal's does, but it doesn't taste like they have cabbage in it. But they don't call them.
Oh, dude, you probably do not want to know what they put in them these days. Okay,
they're not called belly bombers for no reason.
Burgers, like they're putting in this weird stuff that they say is like vegetable derived or something, but who knows what the heck it is. I mean, I don't trust fast food restaurants anymore, period, in the program.
I don't blame you there.
Stay away.
Yeah, I need to be, I guess, more conscious of that. I'm not too worried about it. I feel like it'll just get transmuted and whatever.
Yeah. They're trying really hard to turn us all into cannibals, but it ain't going to happen. I'm sorry. Ain't going to do it. Sorry.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, it makes you want to stay at home. But, you know, it could happen anywhere, you know? Even at home. Just not sure what you're buying these days, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I guess it's a good idea to pray for your food and you know.
Oh, it absolutely is, right?
Yeah.
You can purify it with your energy. Make it good for you, right?
Yeah.
That's what we can do. We are powerful beings. We can do this stuff.
Yeah.
We just got to do it.
Definitely. So are you feeling any better now that you...
Oh, I feel a ton better. Thank you, dear.
Oh, I'm so glad. It was so wonderful meeting you. Sherry was talking you up, talking about how cool of a person you are. You really are a wonderful person. I wish I had more time to talk to you. There's so many people to get around to. But
oh, Sherry is the best. She's so sweet. Oh, I know. I wish I would have just had way more time with everybody. Oh, it's just, yeah.
We got a nice little group here.
Super. Yeah. So many great people. And just to feel that energy and that love. And it was so funny when I came home and I was just like, blah, 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 blah. I'd tell John about, you know, telling all about everything. And he was, he was having a hard time fathoming this, you know, I know these people though, you know, I know them, but I didn't know them, but now I know them. But now it's nice that I know them.
Well, I'm so glad we got to get together there, and I'm excited about the St. Louis get together. I hope I can make it in time. Jeez, I need to. I don't know if I had somebody to ride with me again, like Sherry. Like Sherry, you up for a road trip again? It's like I'm not riding with him anymore. No, it was actually a blast riding with Sherry. Believe it or not, we had a ton of fun. And she's blasting her 80s music. I loved all her 80s music, so it was fun. But I don't think I could.
80s music.
Yeah, jamming out the Def Leppard and all that. But I love that, you know. I love that stuff. So
I still have not looked at Michael Jackson video yet, but I ordered this. You know, Greg from In5D.
Mm-hmm.
He does the tie-dye T-shirts.
Yeah.
Okay, and I was looking on the website the other day, and I ordered 2 of these T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
One of them has Michael Jackson's face on it. I swear. God.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I ordered 2, and I kind of think this one might have Sherry's name on it. I saw Michael Jackson's face in it.
I totally believe you.
It was just crazy.
Did you get a picture of it or anything?
Well, I don't know if it's still up on his website, but I don't know. I guess I'll have it pretty soon.
Yeah.
I ordered it a few days ago, and he shipped it immediately. He's a fast shipper.
Well, I mean, was it supposed to have the Michael Jackson face in it or not?
No, it was
okay,
just a tie-dye T-shirt. He does these where he takes the salt, the water, he infuses it with all this lovely energy into his shirts, and each one is totally unique, and he posts them all. You can pick out the exact shirt, I was like, ooh, that, and I just saw that. It was just really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just saw Michael Jackson's face in it, and I thought of Sherry, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna get that. Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I'm just wondering if if there's a stock photo, and then the shirts are all sort of unique. You know what I mean? Like, did you actually order the shirt that you saw?
Yep. No, he posts the exact shirts. Because,
okay.
There's small, mediums, larges, or, he had some 2XLs, and he had some, just mediums, and, I don't really have a reference as to what a medium is or what a large is, but I ended up ordering 2 of the mediums, and they're all the same sort of style. They're kind of a unisex, short sleeve T-shirt style.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, I just swear, it was just like, oh, it looked really cool, and I saw Michael Jackson's face in it. And I mean, maybe I won't see that when I get it, but I don't know. I certainly saw it in the photo.
That's cool, though. Yeah, I only asked because I used to do graphic design, and a lot of times they'd give us, different selections of things they want on the shirt, and we take one model picture and just Photoshop the different versions of it. So I didn't know if it was something like that going on,
No, this is total, just organic tie-dye. What you see, what you end up with is
what was in the picture.
Surprise with each one,
All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
When are you supposed to get that?
I don't know.
It's already on the way,
Florida. Right? I think it's on the way. I believe. I did order some other stuff. I don't know. I got a confirmation the other day, but
could be held up from the storm if it's in Florida, though. A day or
well,
something.
right. Yeah. I also ordered jewelry lots from Goodwill of Northern Florida, and they shipped those out today, so or yesterday.
That's nice. So what do you think?
Okay.
What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just looking at the chat. I just saw cheers. Yeah, Michael Jackson has been up in our vibration over here. I know, right? Yeah. I've been hearing a lot about him, seems like, recently, too. Like, Amanda
there's such
Ellis.
a pushback. Yeah, and there's such a pushback, too, to why. It's like, I don't know. It's suspicious. It's awfully suspicious. I think,
I think they've always been trying to do everything they can do to, I think he was truly a, Pleiadian or, some kind of a, light worker in a major way, obviously, on our planet for its time for whatever reason, but they did not, they couldn't have him around very long, so, and they're still trying to destroy his music because it is powerful, and his messages were powerful, and they're trying to take what he did about actually really loving children and turning it into, they're trying to turn it all dark because all this shit's coming out about how dark it really is with the children and most of the people in Hollywood and the pedophilia.
Of course they would throw the guy under the bus that wasn't into that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he wasn't that way, but they're trying to throw him under the bus and destroy that. But he's still, even beyond the grave, obviously working with, the light to wake people up and, help us with our ascension and everything. I'm sure of that,
Yeah.
He wasn't, there is, I don't know, it's just not even up for discussion. It's just clear. Anthony, anyway. Okay. I've said so.
Let's see, Maria's saying, let's see, where did it go? Maria Mars is saying, Shane, each tie-dye shirt from Greg at N5D is unique. He hand makes them and infuses the quartz crystal sand into those shirts. They're really cool. That sounds awesome. Of course, we love Greg at N5D. He does stop in here from time to time.
He's got an amazing selection of shirts there. And, yeah, he really does need some support and things. I know he had to move off the beach and stuff, and, you know, he does so much for so many. And I thought, oh, gosh, well, I just could have, you know, these are good shit here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No,
I'll definitely check them out.
yeah, that I was just going to get one, but then I saw that one, and I was like, oh, my God. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one is going to be, I know where that one's going to go to. I think she'll like it. She'll look good in it.
Do they have like a lot of different colors? Combinations and stuff?
It was like more of a, it wasn't the, I got one that was like, I just fell in love with all these big, bright pink colors. It was just, wow. And the other one was like, this one was, the Michael Jackson was sort of more black and white with color. And, yeah, it was a little bit more understated with a more, I think it was called the, and then he named them, he called, I think that one was the Higher Self.
Yeah.
You know, and I looked at it and I was like, whoa, yeah, Higher Self. You know, you could just kind of see, you know, like, you almost saw like a Buddha or, you know, somebody standing there like meditating, you know, in that pose in a way. And then, but right at the chest area, the right in the upper chakra, the heart area is this, it just seemed like the face of Michael Jackson. And then as you kind of look back on it, I was like, wait, no, it kind of looks like, who was it? It almost looked like, who was that? That black singer lady. What's her name?
Old or young?
I don't know. Older lady. What was her? Older lady. I forgot. But
like Aretha Franklin old or?
No. Diana
Ross?
No. It was just Diana Ross.
It was Diana Ross? Okay.
It kind of looked like Diana Ross, too, in a way. I don't know. It was
well, you remember that?
You know, you can see a lot of shit in there.
You remember the black version of The Wizard of Oz called The Wiz had Dorothy. Dorothy was Diana Ross, and the Scarecrow was Michael Jackson. That's interesting that they both.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
It had Richard Pryor in it and stuff.
I never saw it, but I'm going to watch it now.
I only saw it like once, but, you know, it was funny to see, like, everything, you know, because it was like sort of a parallel of The Wizard of Oz. But they had all the most famous black actors at the time, and Michael Jackson and Diana Ross and that. I remember Richard Pryor was in it. A lot of other famous black actors at the time. But it was cool to watch because it's, you know,
right.
The Wiz.
I don't even know if I've ever actually saw it, but the whole Wizard of Oz sort of thing has always been, you know, that's been a big, huge thing in my life with this whole awakening, you know.
Yeah.
All the references, I'm just, you know.
I wish I had watched The Wiz more.
In a play in high school.
It might have some Mandela effects in it, just like The Wizard of Oz. I don't know, though, because I didn't watch it enough. Saw it maybe once or twice.
And I was in the Wizard of Oz play in high school, and my name was Inky. Isn't that weird?
It was Inky? Oh, my gosh.
My name was Inky. Instead of the flying monkeys, we were cats, and I was Inky.
That's strange.
Weird.
Was it spelled the same, E-N-K-I? Or is it I-N-K-I?
It was I-N. I think it was I-N-K-Y, as I remember. Yeah. Inky and...
Yeah, I think the Sumerian one is... Yeah, it's E-N-K-I. It looks
and then my best friend, Marcia, was the Cowardly Lion. She's the one that reminds me of Eileen so much. My best friend, Marcia. Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
and she's just like bigger than life kind of attitude, character, funny. Just, you know, she was my best friend. She was and we had these costumes that were so amazing. They were like, you know, onesies with fur, and we were just, you know, just behaving like cats, and just it was the most fun. And then we got to go to. It was so fun to go to the Air Force Base where you had like black kids and stuff where they would be so animated and so over the top, and like, oh, you go to into the other schools and there'd be all these little white kids, all these little Scandinavian children. They'd be all sitting there like properly clapping and, you know, barely any emotion. You go out to the Air Force Base and all these kids be like, yeah, and you'd be like coming up and hugging me, and, you know, just like you get all this emotion just flowing. It was just so fun.
Oh yeah. It's awesome. Let's see. Let me see if I'm missing anything here. I wasn't. We're just chatting around here. So are you still thinking of doing a get-together in your area at some point, or do you have to wait for it to get warm again? It's going to be cold there before too long, huh?
Oh, well, I've got a really nice bonfire pit, and I got a whole acre to camp out in, so I certainly could have a get-together, and I would love to. People can come anytime they want, or we could figure something out, but yeah.
If they were all sort of 8 hours apart, you know, people from each one could end up at each one and sort of carry the frequency, the crystal energy of the group. You know, so not everyone would have to be at every group because it's like passing the baton or something. That's sort of how I was shown that, you know, like there's been somebody at each of the meetups. I think, let's see, Atsuko was almost at all of them. Sherry was, I think, at most of them. You know, there's been a few people. Frank's been at it. I think he didn't come to St. Louis, but he's been at the other one. So there's been people at each of them, you know, that's sort of bringing that energy of those that can't make it.
Right. Yeah.
So if we can continue that along, then we can spread like wildfire, you know, around the world.
Right. Well, this would be, it's, I got a big show to do at the end of this month, and then I'll be rich, okay? And I'll be paid off and rich. If I get my project done. Okay. And then there'll be November. We'll be there before that. But, no, not here. Not till spring.
But you can make it to St. Louis maybe by then, huh?
I can make him. I'm thinking St. Louis sounds like a plan. Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a plan.
And I guess we gotta figure if we're doing something for New Year's this year. It's a lot to consider. We need a whole nother get-together department. I'm so thankful to have people like Angie S. and Sandy and so many people working behind the scenes that just, you know, hop on board and help make it happen every time. It's such a blessing that people are willing to do that, you know.
Yeah. I think we should find somebody, get us together in a nice southern location for New Year's.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That would be awesome.
I don't know, maybe Austin would be a great place to return to.
Yeah.
Sure was a nice place.
Florida. We get Eileen. We could go down to Florida. That would be a nice place to be.
Yeah.
Nice and warm.
Hang out with Eileen down there?
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, I don't know. Just somewhere warm. That would be good. I'll be up for getting out of the snow. You know I will. And the cold. Yeah. Yeah. I might want to save up and go to Acapulco in February in Acapulco, Mexico.
Yeah.
I think I went to the very first one in 2015, and now it's like a big, huge deal, but back then it was only like 100 people, but it was really nice. I mean, it's kind of an expensive flight to get there, I guess, it's Acapulco or whatever, but yeah, I love Mexico.
I really, what I want this is way up there on my dream thing, and I know it's possible, but it seems so far-fetched at this point in my life, but I would love to go on one of those UFO cruises where it goes out in the ocean, and, it's kind of like...
the one that James is doing in October, or...
Well, I don't know if he's doing this one. The one we had, oh gosh, I hope Sherry can help me out. We had a guest on that does that. What was her name? Trying to think of who we had on Paranormal Frequencies.
James is doing the one in October, off of California. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's been advertising that too, yeah. I know. I really wanted to do that, but I probably can't.
Yeah, I'm aiming for next year. October would definitely be too soon for me. I still haven't recovered from the last trip. I'm like, I got to keep things happy on the homestead, and then I've got this trip coming up in November, so I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm learning to trust, though. I'm taking my own advice.
Well, how old are your kids? How old are your little ones?
My youngest is actually 12, so yeah, so they're not very very young. 12.
So they're mobile though.
14
they're
and
totally
16.
Mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to get the bus together. You need to get the conversion bus together.
Oh, I would totally do that. Even my one daughter that wouldn't be down for that, she said, well, I guess if I had enough room. It's like I can't imagine being cooped up and I'm like, it wouldn't be like you think. I mean, the areas are small, but you can have a private small area, which they'd be totally cool with.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're into their art and music and all that stuff, so they don't need a lot of room.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're mobile, traveling across the country. I think it'd be fun. You get tired of somewhere, you move to the next place.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool. And go on the road. Maybe start writing songs like they did in that Expedition Happiness movie that I was telling you about.
You've been talking about this for years now. We need to make this happen.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Get big-ass
just waiting for the doors to open and I'll walk through.
The Love Stream trailer hits the road. The coast to coast. Yeah. Unbiased. Off the fence. I'm totally off the fence now, baby.
Unbiased and on the road, right?
Unbiased and on the road. That's it.
I love it. Maybe I should name my backup channel that.
Oh, yeah, really.
That would be awesome. I could totally dig that. I'm not stuck anywhere,
That's it. Well,
shoot, you're the only person that wants to talk tonight, Terry. I'm so glad you called in.
Really? Nobody else is calling in, huh? Well, I just thought I'd be first. I'd get this out of the way, and I feel so much better. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad you called in and talked to us. It was a great discussion and chat, and everybody enjoyed it, and I can feel the energy. It was real heavy, and I felt it lift a lot.
Oh, and then I tuned into this. I was right before this. I was like tuned into one of my favorite astrologer dudes, Morty.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's posting this thing about, it was just like, holy crap. So you've had to deal with this loss, this agreement. He's like, did you just, he just like read my soul and just put it out there. I'm like, holy crap. It was just like, I was like the first person to watch it, and it was like the daily reading for general daily reading, and I was like, oh, I was just meant to hear that, and it was just like, but then he's going, but it will get better. At the end, it was like, it's going to be way better. You're going to move out of this energy. This energy will lift, and it'll be going, but thank God, Oh.
That's exactly what I was. That's
so
exactly what I was
crazy.
thinking last week. Is because I could feel that hopelessness wave come in. I was like, well, at least I know it's not going to last forever, and I think that's really important to keep that in mind when you're feeling that, and especially if you don't have a reason to feel the way you're feeling, to recognize it's a external source coming in.
Was this a big feeling for people in general this week too? Everybody else was feeling like that. Generally, anyway.
A big wave of hopelessness and just tired of this place and those sorts of feelings, and then other people were already dealing with things, so it sort of compounded that and made things so much worse. But it did kind of move back out for a lot of us.
Oh, wow! That was a tarot reading, and he was like, it was just like, oh my God! I mean, like, are you speaking directly to me and only me? I mean, seriously. This was a reading for the whole collective, but no, it was like a personal reading for me. So I just kind of poured my heart out for a minute there and told him what was going on and said thanks. I needed that, got back a nice comments and helpful. Was like, okay. Join the suicide support group, and people don't understand. And like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Feeling the love. It was beautiful. Yeah. So needed. Oh,
Well, I think you're through the darkest hour, and things will get better from here. But I know you miss your friend, and it's it'll come in waves. But just try to focus on the good times.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I know that it's just kind of, nobody really leaves, and, it's just like, they just made that shit up. He's having a way better time now. And I'm not worried about what his soul happens to his soul because he killed himself and whatever. I am kind of concerned that he didn't have some help and spirit, and but I'm going to look into that too. And that's going to be, so I'm going to be like little, I'm going to turn into a little researcher here and get to the bottom of this if I can. I want answers, and but I'm going to be careful, and so it's going to be better. It's going to be okay.
Just taking it one day at a time,
Yeah, right. That's it. That's all we can do. My friend Wilma's always like, she comes in and was like, she's an older lady, and she's like, she's got all kinds of health issues, but yet she takes care of other people, right? She's a home health nurse. And she laughs, and, I am just so grateful to wake up every day and just like, I'm like, you're kidding? I'm still here? This is fucking awesome, It's like, she's that attitude, right? Like, just appreciate every frickin' moment you got, and, she's here to live life, and, having her in my life is like, you just understand somebody that has been through what she's been through, and lives her life the way she does now. It's so impressive and so amazing, and you just really learn that your shit just ain't that important. It really isn't. Nothing is that important. It's just not. Yeah. We're just in this silly video game that they're playing on us, and it's just crap. It's just crap. But we chose to be here and go through this crap.
Yeah. It's like a whole nother level to deal with,
we wanted the adventure, we wanted the challenge, we wanted the lessons, so learn them and deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate what we got.
Exactly.
And we'll get more of that.
Well, awesome. I do see a couple of people called in, and thank you so much for talking to me this whole time, because I was worried I was going to have to keep you for 3 hours, to be honest with you, Terry. But I don't mind. I just wanted to be respectful of your time.
Yeah, I shoot my, I feel like I felt like I kind of let you down because I didn't get, like a major soul regression thing that you wanted to post and everything, but
oh no, I don't
like
post most of them. So
yeah,
it was
therapy.
Yeah, I don't post most of the ones I do. So so a lot of people will think, don't expect the ones I post, because those are really the ones that were packed full of information or were just something really neat, but not every session is like that. It's just nobody puts the ones that because I've spent 3 hours and got like a line, just one single phrase, and that wouldn't be very fun to listen to, because a lot of it's just relaxation techniques and things like that. People would just fall asleep. It'd be a good one to put up there and put a bunch of ads on it, because people would just sleep right through the whole thing, probably. But yeah, it's so not all of them, not every session. I mean, don't feel let down if you feel like you got a session and you got something out of it, but maybe it's not something that you think would be interesting for everybody. Most of them are kind of like that, they're just, you get what you want or need out of it, but it's not really something everybody would find as enjoyable. But I post the ones when I get them,
Yeah. Well, I guess I got that it was therapy, and I knew that I could call in tonight and get some more therapy, because I really needed it.
Well, awesome. I'm so glad you're feeling better, and don't hesitate to reach out to any of us that you've got our contact information. You don't have to be alone. You know that.
Right. I know. Yeah, I've just been sitting processing, and then okay, now you gotta do something and reach out to somebody, right? And so it's a process, right?
It's a process, and you don't have to do it alone. We'll be here with you,
I appreciate it, honey.
No problem.
Yeah. Okay.
And lots of love to you, Terry.
I'll let you go. Aw, thanks, honey, and lots of love to everybody out there, and to you, and I appreciate y'all.
No problem. You have a good one.
Okay, you too.
Right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's go.
You're listening to The Love Stream.
Unbiased and on the fence.
All right, gonna go back to the phone lines. 337 area code. You guys are just hopping in here like crazy now. Didn't want to talk in the beginning. Who am I talking to at 337?
Hey, it's Sherry. I'm going to be short.
Sherry, what is up?
Hey, everybody. On in, because I know I repeat myself a lot. So but I have to tell this little precursor thing. Before I went to ESETI and I didn't think I could go, and I was going to show you another alien ranch, and I found a Ghost Adventures video, and I sent it to you, and it was all Michael Jackson when we clicked on it.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, afterwards, on Michael Jackson's birthday, Darby was waiting tables at Cizo's. It's like a seafood restaurant. And in comes this guy with an ESETI shirt in our small town. And she was supposed to get, she wasn't in line to get seated. It was supposed to be another waitress get a person.
Mm-hmm.
And so they set this guy in her section, and she was tripping out, and she said to him, my mom just got back from ESETI. I was supposed to go. And he's like, well, things always happen for a reason and stuff like that. Well, anyway, he ended up ultimately, to make a long story short, he ended up giving her some advice, because he said, every single thing that I ask you, you keep saying, oh, sure, no problem. And he's like, but, you're basically like putting problem in what you're saying. Your words are powerful. And she's like, and then of course she said, well, I know that because my mom teaches me that, But she said, I don't use it like I should and everything, so this is a wonderful reminder or whatever. And then he goes on to tell her that you should say, oh, I'd be happy to do that, or sure, I'll get you that, or whatever, but not to put problem in there. And so she told me she's been, like, washing herself, and she says she still keeps, saying no problem, and then she'll, like, try to correct it. So she's working on it, and she's going to get it and all of that. So that's pretty cool.
So it's Michael Jackson's birthday. Somebody comes into Darby's work wearing an ECETI shirt. Just to recap.
Yeah, and this town is small. Yeah, and this town is, like, small. I tell you, small.
Well, you're in New Orleans,
so
right? New Orleans?
No, I live in a little town. This is in a little town called Scott, Louisiana. It's really, really small.
So it's like outskirts of the New Orleans area or Lafayette area or something?
It's the outskirt of Lafayette. So it's like New Orleans is big, Baton Rouge is smaller, Lafayette's smaller, and this is like a suburb of Lafayette. It's like 5 miles from my house. And it's just really strange that someone would come in there with an ECETI shirt. I mean, it's just unlikely.
Weird.
It was weird. It was really weird. Yeah. And what was really weird was the way she described him. I had to send her a picture of James Gilliland or whatever, because what she described was like him. And so I was kind of, I don't know. See, I got to say, me, my first thing went to see her. I'm like, oh, my God, someone knows is trying to say, I know where your daughter works. Because it was like ECETI, Michael Jackson's birthday. Then it might have. But as I saw the message that she received from it, I had to, I had confirmation that it was positive and it was meant for us, So that's our thing. But even scarier, I thought it was cool, though. This one didn't scare me. That night, she was at home doing karaoke with her boyfriend, and Devin came home with a buddy that she'd never met, and Devin hadn't seen him in a really long time. And they had been, like, drinking some beer and stuff. And this boy's like, I'm a karaoke. And he grabs the mic, and he stands there, and he says, Michael Jackson. And then he's like, dude, I have no idea why I said that. Well, you would think that maybe Devin was, like, messing with Darby or something. But Darby said it was the look on Devin's face that, like, freaked her out, because he was, like, in shock about it. And like he had gotten kind of fearful about it, kind of, because, like when he was 8, all of those molestation accusations were going on and stuff. And Devin was terrified of Michael Jackson, and the girls would be like, Michael Jackson. He'd like run and scream to his room and everything. So, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. That's not why he came to our family. He probably felt sorry for Devin. I don't know.
Poor Devin was afraid of Michael Jackson.
I was terrified of him, and one time when we met Hillary Duff, she just had on like a lot of makeup, and she was very, very thin, and he wouldn't go by her. He was like about 9, and I was like, Devin, you love Lizzie McGuire. You need to go meet Hillary. And he's like, oh, she looks like Michael Jackson. So, yeah, he was so scared. But yeah, the Michael Jackson synchronicities are crazy. In fact, Kate needs to know. I don't know if anyone noticed in the chat, like, in an email had told me that she was painting, and the Michael Jackson song Rock With You had came on, and she was like, to me, it was just at the right time to give me some positive confirmation about those, because I was kind of, sometimes I struggle, because some of our synchronicities are so crazy. Some of the things that happen to me are so miraculous that I'll start to doubt them, and I'm sure some people out there are just like, how could this be real? But the only thing I can say to y'all is that, like, on my grandchildren's lives, I tell you, I would not lie to y'all. Not in this situation. This is all just too, big of a deal to, like, make things up. You can't make stuff like that up. It's too crazy. You know what I mean?
Oh, I totally get it. And I've seen some of the craziest stuff since I met you that, it's like I've gotten my own confirmations. I know you're totally telling the truth. So I don't doubt you, but I can totally, like what just happened, I could totally see people doubting that, And are we on for next Monday? Let me see, next Monday.
Okay, that's what I wanted to talk to y'all about too. Is that I've been having like a lot of work stuff go on. I've been working a lot, and just like not to like spread my business out there, but like I just co-signed for my son on a loan for a truck that was $822 a month. Has anyone ever heard of something like this? I never have. I've just been like working. I've been having to work like a lot, and so what I was kind of doing, if you don't mind, maybe this month, like every other week, would be a lot better for me. And I have someone scheduled for the 16th and the 30th and the 7th.
Yeah, no pressure. Just whenever you can. Yeah, I saw somebody in the chat was asking about you, so I was like, wait a minute. Well, this past Monday we were helping someone else instead of the show, and then we're not doing something this coming Monday, but a week from this coming Monday is Marilyn Hughes. Is that correct?
Yes. I just can't. I'm so sorry. I can't get away from Marilyn. Marilyn is like awesome. I love her.
Oh, we'll have her back whenever she's available because, yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, she kind of wanted to come on, so I was like, well, let's do it,
Yeah.
So there's that.
They're asking if it's a
There's
Jeep.
that.
Sherry, is it a Jeep? It is a Jeep? Maybe the Jeeps
No,
just cost
it's
that much.
I thought it was a Toyota Tundra up till I like signed for it and everything. It's a Ford F-150 double extended cab, blah 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 blah. And yeah, and let me just tell you, I had like buyer's remorse, and I went back in there today. I was like, I'm mom on a mission, and I literally got them to like take it back and put him in like a Toyota Corolla for like $3 something a month. And so I call him and I'm like, Devin, you get over here with that truck. They said bring it back, and you got to get in this car and all. Well, I thought he was in a Toyota Tundra. So when I went out to smoke, when I saw that Ford pull up, I didn't even think that was Devin. I didn't know that was the truck I just bought. So because we're like, they said I was co-signing, but I'm like on it. It's like me and Devin, like if we were married, kind of buying it, So he comes in there, and when I go in there, he's like got like all the people, like the two women that sold it, the manager, some dude that looks like a Jonas brother. And they're like all listening to Devin plead his case, And I walk in there, and he's like, Mom, I cannot drive a Toyota Corolla. That's the thing that like hunchback moms drive or something like that. I don't know what he said, but he had them laughing and everything. But he started explaining how, you can't take it to the pipeline. He has to haul a camper. And he's like, can you see me hauling a camper with that? And they laugh and all this. And I was like, I was trying so hard I didn't want him to overextend himself, And I don't know. Let's just say that at the end of everything, I caved, and Devin still left in his truck, and I had worked all night, and I was exhausted, so I just came home and went to bed. So we'll see how that goes. But I will tell you this. They agreed. I'm going to put this on the radio. They agreed to, if he has trouble paying it, they said bring it back and they'll resell it. And then they also said that if something did happen on it, that they don't like, that particular bank doesn't like garnish wages or anything. They just repo. So I'm like, well, that makes me feel better a little. But geez, I've been really stressed out with him.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, the kids can be stressful more than probably anybody. Well, I don't know. Maybe a spouse could get you riled up.
It's so hard though, because I love him so much, and it's like I can't tell y'all how like sometimes it's like part of me just wants to like knock him out, and then I can get there and look in his little eyes, and I'm just like, oh, let mommy buy you a truck. Like it's weird. It's crazy. I can be so tough and strong, and then it makes me cave.
April's saying, Sherry, he will pay it, right?
Huh? Wait.
April's saying, Sherry, he will pay it, right?
I think he will. April, okay. So let me tell you this, and he made a point. Okay, it seems like he gets laid off often, but I mean the kid makes like $450 a week when he's laid off. They still pay him, and come to find out, it's not like unemployment. It's like called low pay, and like he actually has been at the same job for a year, and I didn't even realize it.
Oh, so it's not considered unemployment? It's like severance type pay or something?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And when he's working, he makes like $1,200 a week, which is not bad for a kid. You know, I mean, like he's 22, you know, but it's just I didn't even realize that there was like any consistency there at all because of the fact that he had worked in West Virginia and then went to like I don't know where else, somewhere else, and then back to West Virginia. I thought these were different jobs. I just didn't understand well, I guess, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, he says he's going to pay it, and, like, it was really neat because I really think that there was a reason for all of this because he sat there, and there was, like, all these people, the manager and the sales, and all these people, like, telling him, look, your mom's doing this because she loves you, and then he'd explain that it was going to, like, get tore up if, you know, this. And also he was, like, when he was looking at the Toyota, he was, like, slamming the door and stuff, and they were, like, they told me he's not going to pay for, you know, a $380 note at all because he doesn't want it. He doesn't. That's not what he wants. He's more likely to pay this $822 because it's what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know, you know, like it was just killing me. But I mean, I guess, you know, back when I was younger, you know, a $500 car note was so high, but maybe nowadays it's just, you know, more with inflation. You know, I don't know.
It's definitely like, more. Because I bought a car a few years ago. It would have been like $12,000 to $14,000. It was like $24,000 for this baseline, bottom of the line economy car that should have been like $12,000. They're not $12,000 anymore. They're like twice as much. And then after you pay for it with interest, you're up in the $30,000s. You know, if you're financing it.
Yeah,
and that's a new car with lower interest rate. You know.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, and like. Just like my daughter and her husband, when they bought their house, I mean, it's a 3-bedroom house. It's a good size in it, and it's nice and everything. But the house on it's like almost $1,500 a month, and I'm like, I would be so scared to take on something like that. I don't know why. I just don't think I could do that. You know, I don't know. It's weird. When I bought my first house, it was like $335 a month. You know, back in the 90s or something. You know, it's weird.
Man, $1,200 a week though. You'd think you could go just buy anything and just drive it around and pay cash for something, and it'd be way better. You know, that kind of money a week.
I know. All I can do is try to guide him a little bit, but you know, it's like, you know, he doesn't want to listen and stuff, but he's gonna have to just learn on his own journey, I guess, like all of us did. Sometimes it's hard to. You know, sometimes they have to just learn their own lessons, you know, but this lesson has me, like, tied to it, but, you know, I've gotten to a point, I don't really care about that kind of stuff anymore, you know, so I've seen, like, I've been at a point where credit's low and stuff and bought a house or whatever, it all works out somehow, you know?
Yeah, and if it doesn't, they come and take it, and it still works out, right? Just maybe not the way we hoped.
Yeah, it all works out for the best. When you end up looking back on everything, it's like, oh, well, you know, that all worked out. Because, I mean, I had did that, too. One time I had gotten in a house, and it was like, they put us in it, and it was like, the note was like $680 or something, but they gave us a second mortgage at the same time. Like, they took out a second mortgage with the first mortgage to pull it off. So that was like $400 a month or whatever, you know. And we ended up letting that go, and went and got like a triple wide trailer on like a couple acres, and that note was $464. And I was like, saw myself so stressed out in this nice little subdivision that like everybody else had, you know, kind of where my daughter's at right now, you know, with wanting to have the little shrubberies and all that stuff, to like this place that was like way cheaper, and then saw how much stuff I could do with my kids. You know, I started traveling with them, taking them to all kind of concerts and doing all kind of stuff because the money was available then, you know. So it was like a lot. It was a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the wind takes you where you're supposed to go, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Just trust. That's the main
Yeah.
thing. Just trust. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry's saying, buy good used cars, step away from the bankers. That's actually what you do, though, isn't it, Sherry? Didn't you say you just save up and buy a car instead of? And
Yeah,
you
that's what I
actually
do with
save
my
up for nice cars, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like my car was really neat situation, and well, I mean I say that, but I guess there was some lady that was like they'd bought a car for her and paid a lot of notes on it or whatever, and then she got like ill, and so the husband was like selling it just for the payoff, and so I got like a $26,000 car for like $14,000 cash, you know.
Right.
But then that, you know, like there went the savings for a little while, but you know.
When you can expect a 22-year-old to save up that kind of money. You know?
Yeah, right. Like I'm just gonna see how it goes. You know, I mean, they can't take away my birthday, right? Even though I wish they would.
That's hilarious.
But back to that trip, I'll always be your co-captain as long as I can like run the radio. You can listen to what you want when I'm sleeping.
Awesome. Yeah, I was thinking about what Candace Carl Goldman said. She said, "You guys are either going to love each other at the end of this trip or hate each other." That was funny.
Yeah, right.
And then we didn't do a show, and people were like,
"Cool." I was nervous. I was scared. I was gonna like aggravate you or whatever, but it went all right.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
I know. I thought it was fun. You know.
Yeah. Even though I woke you up a few times on accident.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I feel like when I'm not, I feel like I'm used to being in control most of the time. You know, like I'm the one that like runs crap around here. You know what I'm saying? And like I just don't. When someone else is driving, it's hard for me to rest. You know. Yeah, my kids were traveling once, and they put me in the back seat, and they were driving. I kept waking up like, blah. They weren't even doing anything, you know.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I'm sorry I laughed so much, but a lot of the times you scared me because I'm like sitting there driving, and you know how they'll have like road construction, and you'll like cross across the median, and it feels like you're driving out the road, and you'll hit those little, they call them those rumble things, that wake you up if you're running off the road. So it would be a construction zone, and I was awake, but I'd have to cross over and where it goes down to one lane. And it feels like the car drops off the highway and you hear that vibration, and it's just the scary thing if you're asleep. And, you know, she woke up kind of freaking out about it or whatever. And then when she jumped, you know, the feeling of the car feeling like, you know, it went off the road, and then her jumping made me jump. And then I just laughed because it sort of woke me up, you know, or whatever. But it was just, it happened over and over again. It just got kind of funny.
It felt like I was going to like shoot through the windshield. Like someone had to hit the passenger ejection button. Man.
It was fun. I do apologize for laughing. Yeah. It was just over and over
no,
again.
It's all right.
It just kept getting me.
Oh, no, it's fine. Good times. Yeah.
So yeah, we got to figure out about I don't know about this whole event. That'd be cool to be able to stop through St. Louis. I don't know if I'll have time though, if I'm trying to drive it by myself. That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah, as long as I know the dates and I can like get someone to cover my work and everything. Yeah, I don't mind like I love driving places. I'll drive anybody anywhere. You know, get me up, y'all. Call me.
Careful what you ask
I do
for.
want to go see Kate. And I actually I actually didn't get to spend a lot of time with Kate, you know. I mean, like, I'm gonna tell y'all, like, I had a lot of things happen. He said I had to like reevaluate them and everything, but I know for a fact I went through something like that, like it changed me, you know, in a good way. Like, you know, I learned that I'm like creating things in my life,
mm-hmm.
and you know, and I need to be careful of my thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. So I mean, because I think that all of us are like becoming really powerful, because if you really look at it, Because, you know, you just got to be careful what you think about, because it will happen, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and people will do that. They'll dwell on what they don't want and become a vibrational match. And they're like, I know it's coming, and then it comes. And or vice versa,
Right.
you know, they'll sit there and they'll try to manifest something, and then they're like, I knew it wasn't going to happen. It's like, there you go. That's why it didn't happen, you know?
Oh, wait a second. Oh, my God, how funny, because that's what that guy told Darby with the, there you go, the Yeseti shirt on.
Oh, he did?
You know, he said, stop saying not a problem, because you're putting problem in your words. They're powerful.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of saying not a problem, you know, you need to say, you know,
it's all
I'm going to
good,
get that
or,
for you.
Right.
Or exactly.
Right away
right.
or something. Yeah.
And that's kind of the same thing, you know, when you really think about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, words are powerful.
Yeah, it's, you know, and claiming things out to the universe is, you know, like I always say, how we've kind of been programmed to say there's no such thing as coincidences. Mm-hmm. Well, you want cooperative incidences between you and your spirit guides and universe. You don't want to sit there running around saying there's no such thing as coincidence. You know what I mean? You've got to be careful of what you say. And I know I'm like, you know, saying that like I do it or something. I know I need to work on it more than anyone, you know? I'm not ever saying, I want y'all all to know I'm never saying, just like with the out-of-body stuff. I talk about it all the time, and I read all the books, and when it comes to doing it, I go through spurts of having a lot of experiences, but I don't have a lot of experiences compared to, like, other people. Mm-hmm. You know, I've only, you know, had maybe, I don't know, 3 to 5 controlled experiences. I've had a lot of, all of a sudden, bam, I'm somewhere and can't control it experiences, or all of a sudden I'm somewhere and can control it a little bit. And then a lot of things like just laying on the bed and your shoulder goes down through the thing, or you float up in the air or whatever. But then you wake up and nothing really big happens. So I'm not a pro on it, even though I just love talking. I just think it's interesting, and I have saw enough to know that it's for real. So, I mean, you know.
Yeah, and I've experienced
I don't want
enough
anyone
to
to think
know
I'm
it's
trying to be an expert.
Right. We're just all on this journey together.
To think that.
And I do want to say, you know, I put out that trust video, and the whole reason why you don't hear me say there's no such thing as coincidence, and I say there's no accidents or there's no chance. It's not a, and the whole reason I said it is because you pointed out breaking down the word coincidence, and yeah, cooperative incidence is exactly what these things are, isn't it? It doesn't mean that they're chance or random. It means that both you cooperate with your higher self to create this incidence of a synchronicity. So I feel like coincidences are synchronicities, just it's not used that way. People don't use, they use it as the word accident or random, well, you know, or chance.
Thank you for that compliment, but I'm going to give you one now. Like, I totally was like, you know, really scared of the Mandela effect at the beginning. You know, I thought it was like probably the Antichrist and all that. And I mean, and you have really helped me with fear. And you've helped me to see that perspective is so important because, like, you know, if you think about it, for instance, I was thinking about changing my YouTube name to Miss MISS Guided. Now, that could sound negative, like you're misguided. Or it could be like misguided, like Miss America, like I am misguided, right?
Right, like you're guided.
It depends. Yeah. But it depends on how you look at it and your perspective on almost everything is what I'm learning, you know, from you. So.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. No, but, you know, and like, it's really cool to watch you have these experiences happen to you and it, like, freak you out. And I'm like, well, what's there to be scared of? I mean, I see why it's miraculous looking and it can be scary when you see impossible things happening or, you know, just supernatural, paranormal things happening. But I think the fear really, I mean, I don't know. It seems like you've really done away with the fear, and it seems like your experiences have increased since you've really begun to let go of the fear, don't you?
Well, I think my positive experiences have increased, and I have to give a shout out right now to Vanessa VA because she had made that she made that. It was like a, what do you call it? Tell me the word. He drew something, and it had
like
like
an
layers
infographic
on.
or something.
Yeah. So I'm looking for that word. And I don't know why I have trouble doing that. I'm so sorry. Okay. So anyway, it had these different layers in it, and it starts out at the bottom like just 3D, like normal people or whatever, and then it goes into like this Mandela affected area, like people who are Mandela affected.
Mm-hmm.
And as you raise up through this, there is an area that some people probably skip right through. I tended to be there.
The targeted
about
individual
3 years.
level?
The targeted individual area where it's like these synchronicities that are unbelievable. They seem like that, it's
something's
stuff that's
after
happening in the dream state. It's coming into your physical reality, and you like start thinking you have no idea the struggle that I had there. No one could ever possibly even understand for a minute the fear and terror that me and half of my family went through, because some of them didn't believe any of it. And then after I found you and started like changing my perspective on some of these things, and the channel, the people with the channel,
Mm-hmm.
Eileen, it was like I was able to shift my perspective about it. And I mean, how funny and miraculously all of those things just like stopped happening. Every once in a while.
Could it be that they were happening?
I dipped out in there. Huh?
Could it be that they were happening, but you just saw them in a more positive light?
No, they were happening because they weren't there was really not a way to look at them positively. When I really look at it, I mean, you can try, but it's like
try me. Give me your hardest Mandela effect to look at it positively. Do you have one that's like, man, that one?
Wait,
really
no,
sinister?
they weren't Mandela effects, though. They were more like weird synchronicities,
Yeah.
Just like, all right, I'll just say one out. Okay. So like, everybody knows I meditate and pray for the children, all that stuff. Okay. And all of the like Pizzagate stuff came out, and I had looked at some of it. And I go out from after work on my into the cleanest freaking parking lot on earth that they take care of so well. And, by my door, by my car on the ground was like a Pizza Hut box. And it was like, it wasn't like someone threw it there. It was like empty. It was like clean. And it was like sitting there like by my car. Mm-hmm. And then I get home, and my friend Susan, she's always there when stuff happens. It's so weird. She comes over after work to have coffee, and I go to show her a picture of my grandsons on my phone, and when I hit my pictures, the first picture that came up was like as if someone had took a picture of the door I go into at work, and all of a sudden it was on my phone. Mm-hmm. And there was no way that I've never taken a picture accidentally. I mean, my phone's not even on when I walk out of work or into work or whatever. And it's stuff like that. And I'm telling y'all, it's not just, it's like spiritual stuff. It is.
What about that? What about that was negative to you though, or scary? I mean, I can see it happening being
made me
scary.
It felt like somebody was saying, we know where you go in at work. I'd had certain vehicles around, at that time that, I don't know, my little brother had an experience with one in Wyoming that seemed related to me. It was like some serious stuff, right? But I'm telling y'all, what the point of all this is that once your vibration raises and you can look at things differently, it seems to somehow stop, or you're not as reachable by those things or whatever. I just don't. It is hard. I mean, I wish I could find a way to think that it was really positive. I get what you're saying.
Let me just give you one example. Let me back up to the one you said already, just because it's out there or whatever. You're looking into this pizza thing, right? And you come across your car and there's this pizza box there. I can see that being creepy, but I can also see that as being your higher guide saying, hey, don't forget to meditate for the kids tonight. I mean, you could totally see that as a positive thing,
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, if you looked
It's
across
just really hard for me.
Hold on, let me give you,
Yeah.
okay, if you look down at the pizza box, right, and you looked at it, and then, like, out of the corner of your eye, you see headlights turn on across the parking lot and start revving the engine up, looking at you, you know?
That's happened to me, Bob. I swear to God that's happened to me before.
I'm
just
saying
letting
that's
you
something
know.
to be a little bit more alarmed than just the pizza box. It could have been a simple reminder, a synchronistic reminder. Don't forget to meditate for the children and think about the children, you know. But I do see what you're saying. But I'm just saying that.
Well, you know, and like let me just I'll say it here. Okay, it's happened here before, but mostly in other areas. But I've had like chat room people say things that like have to do with like exactly what's going on in my reality right then, or one of my children's, and it would freak me out. But I noticed that I have like dropped my vibration at a point for some reason when these things happen. It's the strangest thing. It really is. I'm just saying that it's important to work really hard to like stay high vibe. And I mean, I'm the worst one for it. So I lately have had like, I'm so glad that people have said that they had like a lot of purging and stuff going on and things like that. I went through like some weird stuff, weird emotions lately and stuff, you know. And it does help to know that other people are going through them. It like fixes it for me when I know that.
Yeah, because you kind of realize it's
crazy.
an external force coming in and bothering you instead of like, why am I feeling this way? And then when you hear it, you're like, wait, other people? And it's like just having that awareness that, oh, this isn't coming from me. And it just helps you deal with it so much better, you know?
Yeah, and right now I'm working on like some of that stuff that you were talking about, like different, because I really do ponder on the things you say. You might think I don't listen or whatever, but I do. Like when you're talking about like there might be one area where there is a war between the angels and the demons or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right.
If you're not playing in that sandbox, you're not going to experience that. And I think that that's kind of some of the stuff that I was going through or whatever, you know. And I think it's just like you said. I mean, it's like everybody is where they're supposed to be for a reason on their journey. The things that are happening to them. Sorry about that.
Because you learn stuff even at those times, right?
Wait, what?
I said you learn things even through those dark times or those scary times. You still learn something from those experiences, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh, yes. Like, I mean, it's just crazy because I could, like, there's no way I could write a book about it because it's just so much stuff.
Yeah,
and
I know
you
what you
can't
mean.
even tell anybody. Like, to start at the beginning and tell someone a story like this is unbelievable. You know, like, I just realized that there was, like, it was so funny that night. I was, like, on this Friday night love stream when it dawned on me that, like, I was having all of these out-of-body experiences assisting, like, celebrities. And then I'm like, oh, my God, Michael Jackson is a celebrity. It, like, didn't click for me. Ever. It was separate, you know?
Right.
And it's things like that are just, I'm always discovering or realizing something new. I still don't know the extent of all of that, but I mean, it sure is interesting. And I'll just say what I said the first time that I was ever on your show, me and Darby, with that Michael Jackson thing. I am totally like never, ever, ever bored. I have the weirdest stuff on like all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for it because it's interesting. I'll give you all
Makes
that.
life exciting, doesn't it?
That's exciting, you know.
I did want to back up to something you said because we sort of just brushed over it. And I think it's a really important point not to miss because I think a lot of people are starting to see this. I started seeing this, I guess, when my daughter got in that wreck. And I started realizing that, you know, the clock was just a very small portion of where messages can come from. So I started noticing, you know, of course, with the SAM material, I had already noticed getting music messages. But what you're talking about, if you have somebody in a chat room say something, I don't think it comes from that person. I think that person sort of was used for a moment to pass along a message from the universe to you. Because I've had it where I'm walking by two people having a conversation and I overhear something that I know was for me. But I know those people have no idea I heard it and that I got a separate meaning from whatever their conversation they were having is. And I think it's if you see it as coming from the universe or your higher self or a message from the higher benevolent agency, then there's really nothing to fear about it. But if you sort of feel like, get into that targeted individual thing, feel like there's people in the chat room that know secret things about, how do they know that? I mean, that can totally move you into fear when it was just a simple message from the universe that, you know, you sort of...
Yeah, but like, okay. Right, like...
Or from the Matrix. I'm not saying it's not necessarily a good message. Let me put that out there, because the Matrix that's designed, like I was talking about in the video yesterday, is designed to push you back into separation, fear, and anger. So people can be used to pass along either type of message. So let me just put that out there.
Right, right. Look, I want to give an example so that the chat room understands, you know. I want to tell y'all something that happened to me in this chat room. I won't mention any names, and it's nothing bad that was said, but here's what happened. My daughter was going through something, and she was really, really upset. And she had told me later that, she said, Mom, you know what I did? I did what you advised me. She said, I was like, I went and got in the bathtub, and I listened to Michael Jackson's song, I'll Be There, because it comforts me. And then I did this meditation, and she said, and I don't know how, but I ended up being like Tarzan, like swinging on a vine through the jungle, and it was so fun. And, you know, and this is what she said to me. And I had just left the chat room when she called me to tell me this, crying. And she was happy at the point, but she was telling me about her experience. And someone in the chat room had just said, I'll be there on the upswing. And she was telling me I would, like, swing up from the vines up onto a tree and all that. And she had just said she had listened to I'll Be There. And it really scared me. I'm not going to lie. It freaked me out.
There's a synchronicity, though.
Why don't y'all chime in the chat room and tell me what you think of that? You know, just for fun. Let's just see what.
I just
what
don't
would
see a
y'all
reason.
Do if something like that happened?
I feel you, but I just don't see a reason to jump on a fear train with that one. But we'll see what people think. You know, that's a perfect example. So you see some very weird coincidences that seem well beyond chance that somebody would write that, with the song title and what her little visual was in her mind, and then they make this comment that seems like it's directly tied to what you were experiencing. They had no way of knowing, unless, of course, I don't know, maybe they're peeking through your laptop camera, or who knows, right? I mean, it would have to be something like that.
Let me tell you where my mind goes, actually. Wait, let me just tell you where my mind goes with all this stuff that I've had go on. Like, you know, I've had people say things to me or whatever online, and then, like, my daughter will call me and say, Mom, you know, I had this experience. I walked in the house, no one was home. I hear a man, I hear a woman, and they say, hi, hello, you know. And I had just, you know, received messages that made me feel like that there was somebody like, you know, I would say like maybe some kind of like psychic spy or somebody like that. And then I'll feel just like that's where my mind went when the Ifedi shirt man walked in my daughter's restaurant on Michael Jackson's birthday. But then I was able to, because of you and Eileen, switch my perspective on that. And then I got like all kind of salt and pepper confirmations from everywhere, including Kate, who, you know, had told me about painting and the Rock With You song came out. She messaged me that at the exact perfect time to give me a message from Michael Jackson that it really was positive. I mean, it was his birthday, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's see what the people are chiming in. Cool. Don't be scared, be amazed. It was merely validation. Plus, plus, plus. It's a message confirmation. For sure, I'd be delighted. Confirmation. Jesus, Shane. What's that mean?
Wait, what's that one say?
I don't know. Electromagnetic frequency. I don't know. What did I say? What did I say? Electromagnetic frequency.
What did they say?
Let's see. I feel it is amazing, fascinating confirmation. I don't know. I think it's amazing. I don't think there's anything to fear at all. I mean, your name is overprotected. That's not an accident. Your higher self is trying to tell you, look, you're protected. And as many experiences as you have, oh, man, if you could move beyond the fear, which you have. I mean, you have in a huge way.
I am working on it.
It's been a year.
Ongoing process.
Right. But it's just sort of jumping to conclusions. You know what? And I tell this to Sherry all the time. I mean, you don't have to make a decision right away. You can just observe. If you see something and you know it's something supernatural, is it a synchronicity? Is it a sign? What is it? You don't even have to, you just observe it. Put it on the shelf. Say, you know what? I've been noticing, for me, the number 14 keeps coming up. So I just put it on the shelf. I don't get fearful about it. And I just look up and we've been going 2 hours and 14 minutes. That's funny. So yeah, I've been getting the 14s like crazy. I'm like, does it have to do with my 14-year-old daughter? Hey, babe, you all right? And checking on her, and just I don't know. What is the 14 about? So I don't know. I just observe it. I don't get fearful about it though.
It's really interesting though, because I've had, though I will tell you where you want to know how it started, that the fear came. I'm going to tell you, because I had now this was back in like 2016 and stuff like that. Straight up threats through chat rooms, not yours, through chat rooms that were direct, just stuff like, have fun going crazy, and things like, telling me that I'd be in a car wreck in a certain year and stuff like that. Like, it's that those kind of things can be scary. And it was almost, I do feel that spirits and entities can operate through this technology, like it's just like anything can be used for. But I always go back and say it's just like they say in the old days, like fire can be used for good or bad. It can like burn down your house or cook your food, So I mean, everything can be used for good or bad. And I think I got like a little bit traumatized from it, and then started feeling like everything was. But when I really looked at them, there seemed to be two ways to look at it, and if I choose the more positive side, things just seem to get better. So I've learned a lot, and I'm, working my way through it, and I thank all of y'all for being there to help me with it. Is there any more callers in the thingy?
Why are you trying to dip out on me now? No, there's no callers there.
No, I'm not. I just don't want to like hog. I just don't want to hog the phone line. That's all.
So, okay, so I think, this discussion of fear is a huge thing, because I think as more and more people's gifts come online, you start seeing orbs or shadowy figures. I mean, it's going to be super easy to dip off into fear, but you got to keep in mind these things are always there. Just the fact that you're able to see them now shouldn't raise any alarms. I mean, I know it's sort of unsettling, but if you can just think of it in those terms, well, I'm seeing something that's always there. Nothing to be fearful about. How many times have you guys been hunkered down, the sirens are going off for a tornado, or whatever it is, whatever reason you're hunkered down in fear, waiting for something to happen that never happens, and how much time do we spend fearful of the future that never has anything fearful to bring about? So I don't know. I say don't jump on the fear train until the lion's chasing you. Then go ahead and kick in with the fear, and it'll help you run faster. But other than that, it's just not helpful,
Yeah, I've definitely seen that. What you're saying is so true. But I think that it should be noted how Vanessa VA's little diagram, that was the word I was looking for, diagram. That thing, it's on the Tesla video. It's about 30 minutes long, the last 10 minutes of it. When I saw it, it was just like, it was so eye-opening to me, because I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what happened to me. And as long as I can keep my vibration up above that, I'm like great, and the universe is like magical, just delivering to me over and over and over and over and over everything that, to where I feel like I'm literally in this like 5D reality, causing every single thing that's happening to me that's like beautiful and perfect and amazing.
Well, I spent about a week there. I spent about a week there, Sherry, just where you're talking about, where the whole targeted individual thing. I've been watching, and that's, and I can look back, just like I said in the truth video, I can look back at that time. I've been watching these targeted individual videos, right? And then I had my first out-of-body experience. So I get this huge buzzing sound, and my mind immediately went to fear, right? I'm like, they're shooting me with I've set the wrong thing on my channel. They're beaming me from a satellite with something. They're trying to, I've been a targeted individual, and I immediately went to fear, and it ruined my first out-of-body experience, because I thought I was being attacked, you know. But it all happened. It just so happened I was watching those videos right before that happened. So my mind went there. But it really only validates what you're saying. It's like wherever you're playing at, wherever you're hanging out at in your mind, if you're going around and watching Pizzagate videos, you can't really be too surprised that you're going to have fearful things coming to you. That's why I tell people, know that stuff's happening, but just leave it. I mean, it's good to know what's going on, but don't hang out in there too long. Watch enough to know what's going on to be convinced, and then leave it, because it can pull your vibration down. There's a lot of dark stuff going on, and if you're hanging out in that all the time, I really feel bad about the white hats that have to clean this up, because they're going to have to, you know, get shoulder deep in this stuff to ever clean it up. And I wouldn't want to be in that. That's for sure. I wouldn't want that job, but I'm glad it's happening.
Right, and I think that the reason that I was stuck there so long, for like 3 years, is because, you know, I chose to meditate and pray for children that were going through things like that. I was guided to do that by Michael Jackson, you know, and that's what I was trying to do. And Eileen basically was like, you know what, why don't you try doing your meditation different? You know, like, instead of going in and rescuing them from this bad, horrible, like, thing that's, like, going on there, like, try to picture them in the, you know, the good place at the end, you know, like where it is that you're taking them to or ending up or what. And let me tell you how that totally flipped my experience. Like, if you and her don't think that you've done anything to help anybody else, I promise you that, I mean, like, I could cry right now. For me, it was like literally a salvation, because I was like really in a bad place, and still like doing this out of my love for them and everything, but, you know, figuring it was just like a consequence that I just had to put up with, you know? And it's totally changed now. You know, it's like totally different and better. And it even works better, I think, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
So just thank y'all so much for that, because it's like, you might have been there for a week, but try being there for like 3 or 4 years, you know, like that. It's just, that's really bad, you know. It really is miserable.
And, you know, I went through, like, even my dark night of the soul, I've heard people, I think my brother's been stuck in one for decades, to be honest with you. I wonder sometimes, but, you know, some people go through stuff and it takes them a long time. I'm so thankful I moved away from that. Like I said, it was about a week long, and I had just really looked at the target individual stuff and considered it, and then when that out-of-body thing happened, I was like, I'm being targeted. You know, it just like your head just goes there.
I can see that so perfectly, because, and you know what I'm just thinking right now? Like, what if they don't even have that stuff, but they're like, oh, we can keep them in fear like this, you know, like all of these symptoms that everybody's having, you know, we say it's 5G, you know, they're like thinking that they're, you know, that they're maybe having ascension symptoms to go to 5G or whatever, you know. Well, we'll just tell them that it's not. It's these radio waves coming from their cell phones, and everybody will be like freaking out, and, you know, like, who knows? They might not even have. It's almost like, when you think about it, I honestly looked at like a targeted individual paper one time, like, it was like a diagram, and it showed all these things, and it's like a lot of them were like, I guess, kind of like Kundalini type experiences that I've had would be what they're describing.
Yeah.
I just am thinking that right now.
It is about perspective, I think, you know. Because any of those times that scary stuff happened, you never were attacked physically, right? I mean, were you harmed ever?
No, I did have that car wreck one time. It was really weird, but, you know.
The one that you should have died in and you got out without a scratch?
Yeah. Yeah, but still it was scary.
I know, but you got look, she's complaining. You know, you could have. Funny, though, I could have avoided it altogether. Yeah.
The overprotected screen name came when I decided that I was going to put an announcement into the Ethernet and claim that, right? Little did I know that it was one of Britney Spears' most popular songs, and I would try to like guide people to my channel, and I'd tell them, and they're like, trying to look you up, and all I was getting is a bunch of Britney Spears videos, which is interesting, because Britney Spears actually, lately, she's had a lot of, you know, stuff herself. You know, I try to. I've had a lot of experience with a lot of celebrities, not her, but wouldn't doubt if that ends up being one. Right now, I have Sharon Tate coming up in my my stuff. She's the newest addition to my little friends. Like
Sharon Tate, of course. Let me remind people, Sharon Tate was an actress that was pregnant, 9 months pregnant, I believe, when she was killed by Charles Manson in '69. Is that correct?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I lived not far from her when I was born in '69, like 2 months from that. And what interesting, I was playing a card game, a terrible one. Kate knows about it. It was called, I don't know, something about Cards Against Humanity. Devin was making me play. It was a horrible game. My poor mom got sucked into that. It was awful. Anyway, while we were playing it, this boy who didn't even know us, he kept calling me something that came up about Marilyn Manson and I was like, no, Marilyn Monroe. So he started calling me like Charles, right? So that was like that. There's all kinds of stuff going on with this Tate stuff, which is freaky. But like then someone gave me some cookies at work. One of my patients' family brought them to me. They were Tate cookies. Then this lady brought a bunch of, gave a big old bag of like, had cleaned out on her cabinet and was like, here, you know, here's a bunch of conditioner that I'm not going to use, you know. Maybe you'll want to pull it out and draw like Tate natural conditioner. You know, I was just getting this name all the time, you know. And so I know myself just like with the Janie Lane stuff going on that. But
wait. I got to stop you right here. Why aren't that to me is scarier than some of the other stuff you've mentioned? That you're getting all these Tate synchronicities. How come you didn't go fearful with that? Not saying you should have, just saying that, you know, thinking about who she is. Sharon, is that her name? Sharon Tate? Karen, Sharon, something like that.
I don't know. I think because Hillary Duff had played her in a movie recently, and I have such a connection to Hillary. I mean, that's why my email is Mom Loves Hillary. I always put not Duff. I mean, it's Duff, not Clinton, whenever people say, because I'm like giving that email to people, and I'm sure they're like thinking I'm some kind of supporter of, you know, so I'm like, that's Hillary Duff right there I'm talking about.
You're not even political,
anyway,
are you?
I think, no, not at all. It's about Hillary Duff,
right.
not Clinton. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that because of Hillary and the experiences that our families had with her in the physical, I just feel, I don't know, there's some kind of a comfort about it. I don't know, maybe there's something to do with her baby. I have a lot of connection to children, which brings up the thing that happened to me at ECETI that was so huge. You want me to tell that now?
Sure.
Okay.
Nobody's waiting or anything, so don't feel rushed.
Okay. I left ECETI really quick to hurry and get like a pack of cigarettes and a cold Coke. And I drove out of the gate, and I took a right, and I went down a half a block, and on the left was a store. And when I went into the store, everybody in there was, like, holding a baby, and I got to, like, talk to a bunch of babies. And I had a little baby with glasses on. It was so cute. And there was, like, 2 little boys that were, like, playing. They had, like, some, they were, like, playing in the middle of the aisle, and, like, I had to, like, kind of play with them, like duck kind of peekaboo thing to get through to like get to the place where my Coke was at. And
I started to ask you if you were there to buy Cokes. That's funny. Go ahead. Sorry.
Wait, what?
I said I started to ask you if you were there to buy a Coke, but go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, I was. And something weird happened with that too, because at all of these gas stations that I'd been at traveling, they have these tall Cokes now and thing, and I don't like those. I like the regular size Coke, you know, like I'm just funny. Right. And I swear to you, I looked at this in this cooler in this store, and they had those tall Cokes. And I was like, oh man, but I mean, like whatever, right? And I was telling these little boys, when I walked over there and got to it, it was my Coke. You know, it was the one that I wanted, and I was like, I'm telling you, I saw the taller can in there, you know.
Right.
And it was like I ended up checking out at the store. It was like a comforting store. There was like people sitting on the porch, and like they seemed like they had like welcomed me when I got there, and I felt some kind of, I don't know, comforting vibe there or whatever. But anyway, so the point is that I get back, and I had like some purging type stuff. I had like felt like being isolated and just like sleeping, but I had worked a lot, and I thought, well, I don't know, but I just like felt better after that kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look back, first I started like when I talked to somebody about it, and they were like, "There's not a store right there."
Right. Well, I pulled out of there.
I had you look, and there wasn't a store right there.
Okay, so she pulled out of ECETI. There's like 2 ways you can go. There's kind of a third way you can kind of go. If you go to the right, you can split off. No matter which way you go out of ECETI, you can't go down and there's a store on the left like she's describing. But here's the thing. She got back way quicker than she should have been able to get back if she really went to the store. So I'm like asking her, I'm like, because I saw her leave, and she's like, no, I'm already back. I'm like, what? How are you already back? Did you not go? Yeah, I went. And then she like tells me where she goes, and I'm like, there's no store there. So she's like, yeah, so the next time we leave, and I'm like, just let me know where that store is. We'll stop or whatever. And she's like, we should have passed it by now. And I'm like, there's no store here. So she went to this invisible store, and she got back way too quick to have gone to the other store. So I know she just didn't drive way further than she realized. And then, I don't know. My point is,
items.
You went to a place that doesn't exist there. And anybody who's been to ECETI knows there's no place you can pull out and make a left right in down the road. Half mile, what'd you say? Half mile away?
Is he cutting out for y'all or no? I feel like...
Oh, am I cutting out for you?
Like, you were cutting out for me. I don't know about everyone in the chat room. That's kind of weird. That's cool. Never had you do that on this show. Anyway, yeah, I went to a store that we couldn't find later. It was really strange. I bought stuff. I bought cigarettes and Coke, and there was all kind of babies there. There was every single person in there was holding a baby, every single one, and there was little kids playing in there, and it was weird. It was really cool, though. It was a really comfortable store, like really comfortable.
And it
Very
like picked
strange.
you up. It like lifted your spirits to go in there. Nothing can lift your spirits like babies, though, right? Unless they're screaming. Then
Right.
Then they can tank you pretty
They're
quick.
cute when they're screaming, too.
Maybe if they're real little,
Thank
like a newborn baby's scream isn't very loud,
And I mean, like, it was just real. There was several things I can note about that. Like, when I got to that store, there was no parking places available, and like this guy was like about to pull out, and he like motions. He like tells me like, with his hands, he's like, look, just a minute. I'm about to pull out. You can park here. And I go to pull in, and there's like a man there, like, well. I don't know how to explain it. It was like 2 different guys sending me into this one parking place. I don't know how to explain it. Old man sitting on the porch. They weren't rocking, but like that's what you would picture on like an old thing, like a rocking on a porch. But they were like sitting, like out on the porch talking, like they seemed like townspeople. You know what I mean? With the baby on the lap, with the babies everywhere. Like it was just crazy.
Yeah.
But it was really neat. Yeah. So that's what happened to me at ECETI. That was really cool and hard to explain to people.
And
but
Michelle's
I really
chiming
did
in
vibe
here.
with there.
She's chiming in. I thought we went to the closest store, and I'm like, yeah, the closest store is the one we followed Michelle to that time when we went into
that
town.
was far.
I know and then the other direction. There's a closer one, but you got to go to the left until it dead ends into this other road, and then you make a right onto that other road. So it's not the same road. So I know you didn't you didn't go the other direction and mixed up your directions. There's nothing either way that's down on the left.
This store that I went to, you pull out of the ECETI gate, you take a right, and you go down like a block or 2, like a city block, and it's on the left.
No way. And that's how fast you got back. You got back really quick, like you went somewhere. I thought you just decided not to go and turn around because it was impossible for you to make it anywhere and back that quick. So
And
something
I had
happened.
cold Coke and new cigarettes.
Yeah, you did. Something happened. I don't know what it was.
Don't tell me
was
that you
freaky.
can't. Don't tell me that you can't smoke in heaven, because I bought cigarettes at that store.
Was it called the Garden of Eden convenience store?
I have no idea what it was called, but I wish I'd have noted that, because that was crazy. In fact, after all that happened, I was like, okay, I've got to find the receipt from there. But I actually had paid cash when I went in there. I didn't use my debit card, and I don't know. It was just, everything happens for a reason, I guess. But I had a receipt from heaven.
Well, you know that you bought a pack of cigarettes you don't normally smoke there, and I kept that pack because you ended up buying some new ones and gave me those. So I have that pack from heaven just sitting there. Figured
Well,
might as well.
Good. Yeah.
They're fire-safe
That's so
cigarettes,
funny.
too. I checked. I looked for anything weird about it, and they evidently have fire-safe cigarettes in heaven, so that's nice to know.
That's so strange. Funny that right after that pack was a Marlboro pack, and we noticed the Marlboro, the L and the B line looked longer. That was something weird.
Yeah, have you guys seen
You know?
that? Let me see if I can pull that up and let you guys see it, because this is a Marlboro. And the only reason I didn't, somebody had put a video out about some of the changes with Marlboro, and they thought it was Marlboro. I think it was Scarab Performance that put it out. And he mentions this in that video, but I think because people didn't remember it being Marlboro, they probably turned it off before they got to this. Let me see if I can see if you guys notice this. Let me see. How can I do this here? Okay. I think, yeah, okay, so you guys can see this. Look at the L and the B. Sorry that you can't see this, Sherry, but you know what it looks like. I remember it being cut off with the M, like, but now apparently it's, I don't know, that's just weird. It looks so strange to me. Yeah, that's definitely different for me. Look at this. That looks so weird. Are they trying to make it like there's a cigarette in the negative space between the letters, maybe? It wasn't like that, though. And it's not just 100s. It's the short ones, too. So, who knows? Marlboro Cannabis. That's interesting. Let's see. But anyway, you guys, that's, I don't know what you guys think about that, but really weird. Okay, let me check that off of there. All right, Sherry. Okay, so nothing this Monday, but we'll be back a week from Monday with Marilyn Hughes, and then we're going to be off the next week, and then we'll be back the week after that. Do we have a guest scheduled, or is that... Wait a minute. Did I lose you, Sherry? Oh my gosh, I lost Sherry and didn't even realize it. Okay. All right, well, let's see. We can wrap it up. We got 8 minutes left to the top of the hour. We will be back. I'll be back tomorrow with Eileen. That should be fun, as always. And, yeah, I guess we'll see you guys on the next one. Lots of love and light to you guys. Make sure you check out the Mandela Effect Conference link below. And once again, if you are interested in coming to the St. Louis, Missouri get-together in the greater St. Louis area on November 11th, send me an email. You can go to my website, uotf.net. Go there, contact me through the contact page, and just put St. Louis in the subject, and I will connect you with Kate, and you will make sure that'll make sure that you get the information to the meetup. And so yeah, so we're good to go. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Lots of love and light to each and every one of you guys. Have a good one. If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.